finally your back's in the backfield. Your quarterback scared, I see it in his eyes. Sent the receiver in motion, that's just a disguise. My linebackers, they stepping up. Clog a hole, no letting up. Taking on no big blocks. On fourth down, we get big stops. My secondary is balling out. Your offense keeps stalling out. How many yards? Like none at all. Call the special teams, come punt the ball, and it's gone. And you never see me fair catch. I get a block and then I'm gone like a Lear jet. My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, win, we just came to win. Win, win, we just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win, win. We just came to win. Win. We must protect this house. I'm in a huddle talking to the Hawks. We gonna run it down their throat soon as we get the ball. Come out and fire off the ball. We going on one. My skill position so proficient, break for long runs. Come out running that option. That mean I got the option to keep that or pitch that. Defense, they gotta fix that. Four receivers, we spread them out in the shotgun. Hot reads, I got some. My tight end so awesome. Touchdowns, I toss some. We score 6 scoreboard, that score 6. Respect the ball, we protect the ball. We don't fumble, no throw picks. I feed my linemen pancakes, so all they blocks are pancakes. Push you around like all night. End of the game, get your handshakes, huh? My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, we just came to win. Win, we just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win, we just came to win. Win, we must protect this house.
Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday Sports Talk. I'm Kevin Hastings, along with Hunter Yancey, Carson Dockery, Terry Reinhardt. Wave to the camera, everybody. I'm gonna wave to mine in here in the studio. I'm in the studio first part of this morning. I'm on JP Cam. If anybody's watching here on YouTube this morning, you can always watch our studio sports shows, as always, on YouTube.com. Go to the KTC Broadcasting channel. Just search whatever the name of the show is if you want on any of the YouTube pages. If you're tuning in right now, you're watching Carson use all the syrup from Mitchum's Kitchen breakfast this morning. The pancakes were in the house this morning. It looks like Terry came in with a big old bag, and there is syrup flying all over the room in there. I'm scared to even walk in there and sit down. Terry's got a big box. Hunter, what you eating on? Are you done yet? Oh, I got to turn you guys on. You want me to do that? Let's try that. Try that.
That would work.
Yeah.
We need to talk to the world.
There you go. All right, Hunter, what you eating on in there?
Well, I finished my egg and cheese, and
Yeah,
Terry
2 bites.
asked if I would like a piece of one of his, pancakes. So naturally, being the good man I am, I cannot just turn down a perfectly good pancake.
You got to feed them linemen like pancakes, don't you, Terry Reinhardt?
That's it. See?
What you eating on this morning from Mitchum's Kitchen,
I've
Terry?
got the same thing, pancakes with the side order, liver mush.
I had my egg and cheese biscuit, great as usual. It does go down. So it's almost like a milkshake biscuit, isn't it, honey?
Yes.
It goes down. That's probably how
It goes down
warm and
fast.
quick and thick it goes. It's a awesome biscuits, and we want to thank all of our smooth sponsors as always. Keep us fed here in the studios. at KTC. All right, Saturday Sports Talk brought to you by Campers Inn,
No.
RV of Kings Mountain. Terry, what?
Well, now, Kevin, I wanted to say that you are on the JP Cam.
I know
right?
you can watch me online right
That's it. So if you go to sleep, y'all call that number.
Yeah.
I took the number down.
Oh, did you?
I'm not. I took it down. Yeah. We fired JP. Couldn't take him
That's
anymore.
it, yeah.
Sent him all the way. We sent him halfway around the world.
That's exactly right. He got an 18-hour trip.
Didn't
We
he?
sent him so far away.
Wait, what?
Kawhi complained about his job. They sent him to Canada. JP complains about his. We sent him to Israel.
That's
So,
exactly right.
Oh, that's where is he ever on a trip?
Yeah,
Yes,
JP's
he
church
is.
went on a mission trip going tomorrow.
Okay.
This morning he said he had to sleep in and get some rest before he goes.
He sure
said he was
did.
doing work, but I don't believe that. Do
Ah,
any of y'all in here believe
no.
that he's working right now?
Yeah, he's working
Getting ready
on
to go
getting
tomorrow.
ready to
He
get on
does
that
not
flight.
hear us right now.
He's
That's for
asleep.
sure.
Yeah, he's not
he's
listening to Saturday Sports
unconscious.
Talk.
No.
He don't listen to us when he sits in here.
No.
So-
He doesn't. You know, it's always funny when we talk about like who's playing this weekend. We'll say, JP, can you read us? You know what's going on this weekend? And it's like happened twice, but he always mispronounces Syracuse.
Yeah.
And it's like last time I think he was like Socrates versus NC State, and I was like, oh my gosh.
There's a philosopher going against
All
an
I know,
entire
we
college.
lost to Socrates.
we love our boy JP. He's
Yeah.
going to be headed out to so pray for him and his family and all the guys going out there for his church, going out to Israel for a couple weeks, do the mission trip and visit around a little bit and check it out. Told him to be careful out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely.
in these times, as always, you never know going overseas and different spots. So hopefully we'll have him back. I think Thanksgiving weekend. He'll be full of turkey and ready to. I'm sure he's not going to sleep through that full of turkey on that Saturday morning.
Oh God.
But for those we pick on JP, he's not a sports fan, but he does want to get into the business, and he likes hanging out with us and coming in and eating Terry's biscuits and everything else, and so JP helps out a lot. He doesn't really know anything about sports, and that's
true.
And that's we've had a couple of people that's come in that's worked for us, and so if you want to be an intern. Or possibly work for us in the future. You don't have to know anything about sports. We can find something for you. Terry don't know nothing about sports. We find all
That's
kinds
exactly,
of
That's
dude,
exactly
thank
right.
God someone finally said
My
something.
God.
I have been holding it in.
My Lord, I'm
and
glad
just
y'all said
now
that.
I feel liberated
We
through
find
what
all
you
ki-
said.
And then Shannon, when he starts talking over
Oh,
here,
God.
we don't know what's about. So we'll let anybody come in.
He's missed games by a full 100 points.
I know. Yeah, we might as well let JP pick that.
Yeah,
We all guys. For serious, next year we're gonna put JP's picks on the board
I'm down.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
down.
and see.
I think that'll just be a segment. Put that as a segment at the end of the show.
His
JP's
five specials.
pick'ems.
We'll do five
His five
specials.
special pick'ems. Take him to the bank if you want.
if you want.
If you
right.
want. If you want.
Well, Terry, let's give the scores from last night. We got a lot of postponements. Hunter's on the edge of his seat, ready for tonight's game. Hunter, I just had a call. Somebody wanting to know if we're going to broadcast the game. So tonight, Bandies
Yeah.
at North Lincoln,
Yeah.
undefeated
Yeah.
for the championship.
Yeah.
The South Fork 2 aim before the season. If you had Bandies and North Lincoln undefeated coming in this game for the championship, I would imagine you won a couple of Mitchum's Kitchens biscuits. On the
I
bet.
guarantee it. Well, they had
Yeah.
them predicted
Yeah.
5th and 6th.
Oh, is that where?
So there you go. Well, there's in a tie, but they both had them like locked in at 5 and 6.
who was 7? I know 8 was probably
Late Norman Charter was last.
Was
Uh,
it Lincoln or?
cannot
Seven was probably Bunker Hill.
no, it might have been.
Bunker Hill's
Hold
on
on,
that
I'm trying to
conference.
think
Oh,
of
you're
how
right.
they had
You
it.
got to remember.
But it was all messed up.
For
this
years,
whole conference.
Bunker Hill was in our conference
you're-
because when I was in high school, they were always in our conference. When did they change them? Like, wasn't it last year or the year before? So, like, I'm
It's 2
just
years
out of the
ago.
loop.
Yeah.
So,
just a few years back.
yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
a few years out.
All right, Terry, let's do the scores.
I mean, I've only been graduated for like
All right.
4
Well,
years,
I'm going to save this board over here for Hunter. You go ahead, Hunter. You take this first board. It's yours.
Thank the Lord. South Point falls to Shelby 41-25, and Burns over North Gaston 28-7. That's all.
And
That's all
then
that's on that
mention
board.
these other ones that we got coming up. That might help people out.
Yeah. All right, there you go. Bandies at North Lincoln. That is actually going to be broadcasted tonight on WLON at 7 o'clock. So just flip-flop from yesterday to now tonight. So you're going to have to pick between us and LSU and Alabama, and I think you should listen to us,
Now, you say that's Alabama and LSU playing tonight over here?
basically.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Basically. Hey, basically, neither one of them are crimson, and neither one of them are yellow and purple. But hey, what you got. And then you've got Monday night, 7:00, Bessemer City and Cherryville, as well as Kings Mountain and Crest. Bessemer City, Cherryville will be on WCSL. Kings Mountain and Crest will be on WOHS. Again, that is Monday at 7:00. So fighting for that Monday night football spot.
I hear you. On the second board, it was Hunter Huss 46, Ashbrook 0.
Say it one more time, Terry.
Hunter Huss 46. Ashbrook 0, and they got this little bell they got out of Cracker Jacks that they get to take back home.
Well, it's like a bell, just
Oh,
it's
it's
real
like
small.
Christmas bell.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
like
what
a
it is.
handbell.
It's somebody stands out in front with the bib on for Salvation Army. It's one of those.
Oh, so it's a
Hey.
fake Santa.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But anyway, Hunter Huss, the best regular season record in school history, 11-0, and the margin of victory was the most ever. There you go. In that rivalry, 46
I'm
to
taking
nothing.
that one. I'm taking that one home one.
Alrighty, it was Stuart Kramer had no trouble with Forest View, 45-7. Stuart Kramer's first win over Forest View. Forest View still leads the all-time series 4-1. Up at East Rutherford, they went down to North Gaston and had no trouble defeating East Gaston. Excuse me, not North Gaston, but East Gaston. That's right. It was East Rutherford 48, East Gaston 7. East Gaston now has lost 14 straight games, but the big deal here for East Rutherford is, 9-2, and you're going to finish third in that conference.
And at that point, you might, like Shelby last year, go on the road against some team who, Newton Conover had an idea of who Shelby was coming in, but somebody might get a rude awakening when East Rutherford shows up in the first round.
You're exactly right. And Drone picks up their first win of the year with a 28-17 win over East Burke. And St. Stephen's put a damper on Hickory's playoff hopes as St. Stephen's beats Hickory 28-21. A game moved out of the conference for McDowell and Freedom will be played Monday night, 11-5-18. And Freedom, I guess the turf just couldn't handle McDowell coming over there, I guess.
All right, then on the next board, you got Chase 43, RS Central 28, a big win over there in Rutherford County for the Trojans. Thomas Jefferson finishes 11-0 undefeated with a 42-14 win over Union Academy.
I'll mention one thing about Thomas Jefferson. It's the first time, you go back to 1992, East Rutherford went 10-0 up there in Rutherford County, but it's the first time that a Rutherford County team has had an outright title in 56 years.
Wow. They're going to have a parade up in Mooresboro, Terry. Yeah. Mountain Island Charter and Highland Tech, that one's moved to Monday night as well. That one will be at Highland Tech. Obviously, the Rams coming off their first conference win in, 33 games, Terry. It'll be interesting to see what Elijah Burris does against them, too, the Carolina commit. High Brighton, no problem with Patton, 44-0. And, Terry, High Brighton, are they – I think we all agree that they're the best 2A team in the state, probably.
Yeah. I saw in the last poll that come out they had moved to number 2. So, and they're still Northeastern out of those. Down east is still ahead of them. And I'll put High Brighton up against them any day.
I think so too. Alexander Central with a big win over South Caldwell, 56-22. And speaking of big wins, Watauga 62, West Caldwell 0. Terry, give the people that stat down there at the bottom for West Caldwell.
West Caldwell has been outscored this year, 621-53.
That's bad.
That's the definite improper fraction.
And it is bad to talk about West Caldwell like that, but I'm going to tell you, just 2 years ago they had Titus Tucker, and they went 10-3.
Yeah, and
just 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's tough.
And Coach English, I know that was his last year. Then he left, and what a downfall. Now we got this where you can move your enrollment from one time to another school that's come around. I don't know whether it's in every county, but I know it's in Lincoln County. And up there, I think everybody that played football left.
Yeah, it seems just about like it.
I will say this, though. I got to see Titus Tucker play against Caleb Farley when he was still at Maiden. And you want to talk about a shootout between two athletes. That's exactly what that game was. That's exactly what that was.
Guys, you were talking about High Brighton. Made the point last night on the post-game show. Coming in the game last night, you had High Brighton had given up 86 points on the year. Huss had given up 79. Now look on the board and see how they both did.
Yeah, there you go. 46-0, 44-0.
High Brighton last night. The bad news, though, for you Carson and Hunter Huss fans is that not only they're the number 2 defense in our 6 conferences that we look over, they're the number 1 offense. 613 points, but you guys will never have to play them, so you don't have to worry about that.
No, yeah,
but
no,
anyway,
it's great. Yeah,
but Terry, you keep talking about them rankings and everything, and just looking over our 6 conferences, they're the number 1 offense, number 2 defense. So it's not just one side of the ball in that. And I think maybe those some of I don't know why they're overlooking them. I mean, I don't know. You might have a reason for it.
I have no idea. I mean, I don't. This Max Prep's
Max
ratings.
Picks.
Yeah.
Max
Yes.
Picks. Terry with the bench presses.
That's it. But these rankings they come out with sometimes bother me because I don't understand what goes in justifying how you rank them. And I mean, I need a description like, well, this is first, this is second, this is third. Because at one time when they first come out with them new rankings, they had High Brighton number 8.
Yeah.
And I really floored me. But then last week I saw where they had moved up to be number 2. So I don't know what they did from one week to the next, but they jumped 6 spots, 7 spots.
Terry, we've talked about it in the pregame show. I mean, there probably is, to an extent, some sort of Eastern bias to this a little bit.
I agree.
I mean,
every week.
They think once you hit Charlotte, once you go west, I guess they don't think football really counts.
How dare they?
Well, and another thing, too, we was talking about, and you go up to the score that we gave on Watauga, the last one, 62-0. And we went over yesterday of how bad they had beat people. The closest game they've had has been 19 point to Freedom.
Yeah, and I mean, and Watauga, you talk about a team that maybe a 3A team from around here could face. Watauga could be that team, and that would be really interesting to see them go against, a Crest, Kings Mountain, or a Huss, because we've talked about it. Watauga is a physical football team, and Terry, we've talked about the point differential. I think it might be interesting to see them and Huss go up against each other because neither of those. I mean, the closest game Huss has played was 14-0 against Crest. So those are two teams that, I mean, they have been great. Like, don't want to short them any bit, but neither of them have really gone into the fourth quarter and had a game up for grabs yet. So I'd like to see how that works out.
So Carson, I got a question for you on this matchups. You see everybody was wanting to talk about, a little bit last night, the Crest and Kings Mountain game. Huss has 5 shutouts on the season. Mm-hmm. Crest was one of them. They got up 21, though. It was the most they gave up all year. That was to Kings Mountain. Mm-hmm. How do you see, from a Huss fan / outside perspective, this Crest-Kings Mountain matchup going into Monday night? And by the way, Monday Night Football on KTCBroadcasting.com.
That's a doubleheader.
Crest-Kings Mountain and the biggest little rivalry in the state of North Carolina, the Battle of the Belt, Cherryville and Bessemer City.
Well, I mean, you look at Kings Mountain and Crest, and I mean, last week we went into the Crest Burns game. Is Crest going to be able to score enough? They dropped 63. We know that
in the first half.
In the first half, yeah.
First half.
We know Kings Mountain can score. It's not that Kings Mountain doesn't have a good defense. I feel like they've got a pretty good defense. It's just they have the third best defense in this conference, and that's behind Huss and Crest. Mm-hmm. And those are two really good. Like it's no shot at them to say they're the third best defense in the conference when you've got two that have multiple D1 athletes on one side of the ball for Huss and Crest. I mean, that's that one.
Real quick, Carson.
Yeah.
Huss has given up 7.2 points a game. Crest 11.3. Kings Mountain 17.9.
Well, I mean that's about like what I would think it would be. I mean, they're not a big gap. I mean, 10 points between Huss and Kings Mountain, only 4 between Huss and Crest. I mean, if you went to Huss Ashbrook game and you don't have anything to do on Monday, go to Kings Mountain Crest. I mean, that's going to be as good a game as any on Monday. I mean, obviously, you've got another good rivalry of Bessemer City Cherryville. You can go see Elijah Burris if you're a Carolina fan at Highland Tech. You got a lot of options, but, I mean, if it were up to me, if I had my pick, I would definitely go to Kings Mountain Crest.
Kings Mountain, I've been covering Kings Mountain for the past few weeks out in Cleveland County, and I've been able to see what they do on offense. Offensively, they are able to score with anybody. Mm-hmm. It is defensively early. Sometimes they'll fall behind. Mm-hmm. And against Crest, because this happened last week when I went and covered Kings Mountain, they got popped in the mouth early, but they were able to make adjustments at halftime and went up huge. Now here against Crest, I don't think if they get I think they have to come out strong early. They can't do like they have in the past couple games. Is get popped early and then expect that the offense can bring them back. Because like you said, this Crest defense, it's just legit.
It's good, but I'm gonna tell you something about them that's amazing. And just what you're talking about, if they even stumble at the start, it's amazing how quick they can put up points when they get going.
Fast.
And Crest, I think the two offenses are sort of opposite ends of the spectrum. I mean, you got a wide open Kings Mountain offense where you're able to throw it and run it with Kalen Wade. Obviously, Kobe Pacehour is the best receiver in our area. I don't think anybody has an argument for that. And Raquelin Mack is one of the best running backs. And then, but I mean, that almost, that quick strike offense almost plays right into the hands of Crest because they're run heavy. They're going to try and possess the ball a really long time. They're going to try and limit your chances, especially for Kings Mountain, a team that can score fast. I mean, that'll be a good contrast of styles. I think that'll be a really entertaining game.
Terry,
no matter what.
Talk about that contrast of styles. Do you believe then that it's kind of going to be a lot like the South Point, Shelby game that we saw last night? Really,
it could.
Yeah,
it really could.
But think about Kings Mountain. Here's my key matchup, guys. If you go to this game, this may be the best matchup you're going to see all year. Kobe Pacehour against Landon Zanders. Okay, now if anybody can cover Kobe, it's this kid. So you're about to find out. Kobe is a sophomore going up against a senior, but it's going to be a great matchup. Concentrate on that. Watch the rest of the game, but I'm telling you, watch the Pacehour and watch Zanders matchup. It's going to be outstanding watching those two play. The Kings Mountain, they're going to try to establish the run with Mac. They're going to pound it, make the linebackers. You make the linebackers have to work and wrap up, and then they get caught up, not in coverage. That's the strategy. You got Mac coming through the middle, and then Britton coming across underneath Hunter. If Kobe is locked up, I think he might be the key in this game.
Absolutely. Kings Mountain, I mean, we talk about Pacehour all day because he is, like I said, I've seen him a lot in person, and he's really impressed me, not only just because, especially for his age. I think someone told me kid's not even 15 yet. He's not. He's like a young sophomore, hasn't even turned 15 yet, and he's already ranked so highly among the nation, really, in his position. But he's just got the quickness, and he's not afraid to high point the ball. But you can't, if you are Crest, do not think you can just key in on Kobe Pacehour because Britton will tear you up underneath. He will. And if Kalen Wade doesn't see anything, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's got speed. Now, his arm is deceptive. Yeah. It's a lot stronger than you think because he's not. He can throw it. He's not like when
he's
he
not
walks,
a big kid.
Yeah, he's not a big kid.
When you see the Crest quarterback, he's
big.
He's like, you look at Cam Newton, you're like, well, if I was going to draw a quarterback and a super football player, that's how Peyton is in high school. And then Kalen's the Deshaun Watson-ness.
The Crest
skinny,
quarterback.
Fast, and I can swing it type.
If I had to make a comparison, Crest quarterback, if you look at him, he would remind you of Tim Tebow.
Well, a lot of people do say that.
Yeah, he doesn't have the greatest arm.
Hunter, if you're on the sidelines down there, you'll hear the people in the stands say, "Just give it to Tebow."
Like not the greatest arm, but the kid is like a fullback anyway, so you're not going to bring him down.
Right.
I could see this going either way, but they'd say defense wins championships and wins games, and that's the only reason why I'm giving Crest the slight lean over Kings Mountain, just because. Defense is important. And Crest, like you said, they put up 63 before halftime last week. So don't tell me the offense can't score. I know it can.
The game's going to be at Kings Mountain. Terry, final thought on that before we got to take a break.
Final thought
on the Crest Kings Mountain. We were just
if you have nothing to do, guys, Monday night is all I can say.
You don't have anything. Yeah, you can't say you don't have
here's
nothing to do.
You got Kings Mountain Crest. You got Bessemer City, Cherryville. They are some great games. On Monday, Mountain Island Charter, Highland Tech, if you want to see Elijah Burris again. But
be listening to this and just have your TV on mute with Monday Night Football.
I was about to say, my recommendation would be to go to the Cherryville-Bessemer game because the lower schools need to sell more hot dogs. And Crest Kings Mountain,
they're going to make their money. They're going to make their money.
So go to the Bessemer Cherryville game. You can find a nice, comfortable seat. You can find a great view of a great rivalry in football. Pull up your iPhones and tablets and watch Crest Kings Mountain on your iPhone and tablets.
There you go.
Yeah, Terry,
Wow.
flip that thing open and find it.
Well, Terry's phone cannot watch anything, but it has trouble text messaging. But anyway,
You haven't seen my phone in action.
but anyway, go to
acting like it's a
Cherryville
touch
Bestford
screen.
game. It's at Cherryville. Did I say at Bestford? It's at Cherryville. If I
Yeah.
said-
Terry,
Yeah.
I
That
meant
was
to let
stupid.
you know the Smithsonian called me. They want that for an exhibit.
Hey.
An exhibit on Terry Reinhardt.
Hey, no, an exhibit on the phone.
All right,
and how
Terry.
they-
Terry, sorry to interrupt you on that. That would be my thought. Real quick. Go back.
One other thing too, we need to finish out our boards.
Yeah,
that we haven't
yeah.
finished out. Hunter, it's
Hunter,
on you.
hit it.
Newton Conover and East Lincoln postponed till Monday. Same with Lincolnton and Maiden postponed till Monday. West Lincoln over Lake Norman Charter 65-7.
There it is, Terry. 9 wins for the first time ever, right?
It is, and all kind of records broke. Most wins in a season for West Lincoln. They broke the Maiden record. They broke the Lincoln record. They broke the East
East
Lincoln
Lincoln.
record.
Didn't
I mean,
break the Bandy's record.
I
Anyway.
was about to say, and then all that, like Terry said last night, came in third.
Yeah, third.
Yeah, came in.
9-2.
And the coach did all that great accomplishments this year, and he still might come in third.
And the coach of the year,
that's
yeah.
it. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
been such a good, crazy year. Like if probably an unfair to you say the coaches at Bandy's in North Lincoln, but or say if East Lincoln or Lincoln was in first, and West had the same year they did just this year, or whatever. Probably people
Oh,
lean
yeah.
more towards
Oh,
saying
yeah.
getting coach of the year. But you got two programs that have been undefeated unexpectedly. What do? I understand, Terry. All right, do the scores, then we got to take a break.
All right, one other score over there. Freddy 4-41, West Iredale 14. Freddy 4 started 0-4, win 6 out of their last 7 games. The only team they lost to was High Brighton, and everybody lost to them.
Yeah.
But they finished second in that conference. What a turnaround for Coach Minor.
All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
With the best music from the best decade. And, well, thank you. Who are you? Well, I'm J.J. Wilson, and I'm the host of This is the 60s. This is the 60s, with the best music from the best decade. News headlines, pop culture corner, and more. But I was going to say all that. Get out of my news booth, certainly.
This is the 60s, Friday mornings from 10 a.m. till 12 noon on The Boss, WOHS, AM and FM in Shelby, WLON in Lincolnton.
This is Evangelist Kim Earwood with Jesus Until the Whole World Hears Radio Ministry. Join us each Sunday morning from 8 to 8:30 a.m. for worship and the Word of God on 1390 and 1590 a.m., 101.5 FM, and ktcbroadcasting.com and live on Facebook. Also, be sure and stay tuned from 8:30 to 9 o'clock on 1390 a.m., 101.5 FM, ktcbroadcasting.com, and live on Facebook for half hour of praise and worship with Jesus until the whole world hears.
The summer sales event is underway at Elliott Supply Company in Polkville. Come see the new Husqvarna zero-turn mowers. Get 0% financing for 48 months. Well-qualified buyers may be eligible. And that's not all. See the Patriot zero-turn mower by Skag. Now sale priced at $6,099. Plus get 0% financing for 48 months. Don't miss the summer sales event at Elliott Supply Company, Highway 182 North in Polkville. Call 704-538-8661.
Don't miss the Golf Shop Radio Show broadcast every Wednesday morning from 11 to 12. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
It's Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through November 22nd at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Dwight has gone turkey crazy. Buy a new Honda, get a free turkey. Buy a new Kia, get a free turkey. Buy a new GMC, get a free turkey. Buy a new Buick, get a free turkey. Buy a pre-owned vehicle and get a free turkey. All during Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through 22nd at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. And Happy Thanksgiving from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Bill Shuford Heating and Air and American Standard presents the American Standard Set the Standard event. Now through November 30th, get up to $1,000 in discounts on qualifying American Standard equipment, or get 0% APR financing with 60 equal monthly payments, plus many more special Set the Standard event offers. See Bill Shuford Heating and Air for all the details. Bill Shuford Heating and Air, 213 Campbell Street in Shelby. Call 704-484-0025.
All right, good morning. Welcome back. Campers Inn of Kings Mountain Saturday Sports Talk. Get out there right off the 85 exit there in Kings Mountain. Check them out today. Campers Inn and RV of Kings Mountain, our sponsor. Also, breakfast today brought to you by Mitchum's Kitchen out in Vail. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, a little bit of everything, too, to eat out there. Terry, you got something to say?
Well, I was just going to mention Shannon. He's listening to us right now, and he said you got a bunch of nice young people in here, and I said I appreciate it, Shannon, because I know you put me in that same category.
Who is he calling nice?
That's what I want to know.
That's what he said.
I don't know, man.
All right, Hunter, give the scores, Mr. Smiley.
All right, we'll start with the first board. South Point, unfortunately, falls to Shelby 41-25. Burns 28. North Gaston 7 on that first board as well. Tune in tonight. Bandies at North Lincoln, conference championship on the line. Both teams undefeated in the conference. 7 o'clock on WLON. Monday night, Bessemer City and Cherryville, WCSL at 7 o'clock. As well on Monday night, you can listen on WOHS, Kings Mountain and Crest.
Terry, I know you want to say it again. Go ahead.
I
like it when you say it, Terry. Go ahead.
Okay. Hunter, Huss, 46. Ashbrook 0.
Yeah, it's so good.
And they got that bell ringing down
so
there.
good.
I can hear it today already.
Terry, when we got the bell one time when I was at Huss, it was my sophomore year, and we broke it. Well, it was due.
No wonder Ashbrook wants to keep.
It was the original bell.
How did you break it?
I don't know.
Wants to know.
See, listen. When we got it, it was broken, and so obviously you.
That's what my kids say.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You play the whole. They broke it, and then they gave it to us. They played the whole. We gave it to them, and they broke it. But I vividly remember them taking it around. Huss is a square, like on the inside, and I remember vividly them coming up the hall on the class that I was in, and it sounded like somebody was hitting a skillet. It did not sound like a bell. It was just ding, 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 ding. But hey, it's still nice to hear.
You know, I love the stuff that we have, and that's like the belt going to be up for Monday. But when you have a bell that you're playing for,
yeah,
when you have cannons that people hate, like you go to West Lincoln and we shoot off that cannon, people hate that cannon.
Well, Terry, it's only like a heart attack to everyone in there.
Well, especially the ones that are not ready for it. You're
gonna kill some little nice little old lady.
The cowbells aren't that bad, but I mean, when you shock everyone in the stadium, like, hey, I'm going to the bathroom.
Wow!
And then boom.
And then when you go to Lincoln and
shoot
they
chili
got
dippers up Lee Jansen's
the little bell that keeps a ringing, and people don't like that bell. You know,
I thought cowbells were illegal.
I thought noisemakers as a whole.
No, it's within our confined area at West Lincoln.
Oh, okay.
They're all legit.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Let's finish this board.
They all have exceptions.
Bandies plays tonight, right, Hunter?
Oh yeah.
Who?
Yeah, they do.
Who?
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. The team that beat West Lincoln about 2 weeks ago.
That's pretty good. I'll give you credit. Anyway, Stuart Kramer over Forest View 45-7. East Rutherford 48. East Gaston 7. East Rutherford 9-2 and finishes third in their conference. A great year though. Drone 28. East Burke 17, and St. Stephen's put a damper on Hickory 28-21. Probably finishing a playoff picture for them. Anyway, on Monday night it will be McDowell at Freedom.
And then on the next board, you got Chase 43, RS Central 28. Thomas Jefferson, one of only 2 undefeated teams now in the area after the regular season with a 42-14 win over Union Academy. Mountain Island Charter and Highland Tech, that one will be on Monday night at Highland Tech. High Brighton also finishes undefeated with a 44-0 win over Patton. Alexander Central 56, South Caldwell 22, and Watauga, another undefeated team, they beat West Caldwell 62-0.
And mention of the South Caldwell loss, McDowell sets back, knowing Monday it does not make a difference. We are in.
Yeah. Terry, you got the last 2 scores now?
No,
Come on, man.
I can go ahead and
don't slack off.
It was Newton Conover and East Lincoln. They'll play Monday night, and Lincolnton and Maiden will play Monday night. It was West Lincoln 65, Lake Norman Charter 7. West Lincoln, congratulations, Coach Sane and your group of coaches. What a great year y'all have had. And it was Freddie Ford 41 and West Iredale 14. And again, I give Fred T4, Coach Miner, and his coaching staff 0-4 start.
It's a mid-season turnaround.
Exactly, to finish second place in the conference, only behind High Brighton, and that's not a bad thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. The schedule for KTC this weekend, starting today. This is high school and everything. I'll just go ahead and throw it all in there together. So I'll do my best to pronounce these right for Hunter in there before I'm shamed.
All right, what time does Socrates play?
11 a.m. this morning, North Carolina and Georgia Tech begins. 12 o'clock is kickoff. That is on all three stations, WHS, WCSL, and WLON. 7 o'clock tonight, we've got special broadcasts. Well, the first one starts at 6. Let's back up at 6 o'clock. The pregame show from North Lincoln will begin. Hunter, Tim, and Ken Link, Bandy's at North Lincoln. Up at 6 o'clock today, 7 o'clock kickoff for that game. That'll be on WLON, 1050 AM, 107.5 FM. Also at 7 o'clock on WHS in Shelbytown, we'll have Charlotte Hornets basketball. They'll be hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers, no LeBron. There'll be plenty of seats, folks. For all you Cavs fans that hadn't been able to get a seat the past few years, Tom, you can go get one tonight, see all the Cavaliers. Tom, you and your whole family can go tonight and on a good deal probably.
It should be even cheaper with Kevin Love out now.
Let me tell you something. This is probably cheaper than him taking his whole family to the movies.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I'm
be.
very, and we'll get to that later.
That's a good point.
I'm kind of very upset with Cleveland. Coach Lou, come on.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll get to that.
Hunter's trying to avoid NBA right now, too.
We'll get to that.
O'Reilly Challenge today, 8 o'clock, WCSL, 1590 AM, 92.3 FM, Xfinity Race, and NASCAR. Tomorrow, we'll have NASCAR from Texas, Monster Energy Racing from WCSL, 1590 AM, 92.3 FM. That starts at 2 o'clock, green flag, somewhere around the 3 o'clock time. Tampa Bay at the Panthers come on at noon. Myself and Andre Bush and Addison Johnson from the Wednesday Sports Talk Show, we're going to be up in the press box for that game, checking that out, guys. And look at Terry getting jealous.
Left out again.
Yeah, well,
Imagine
you know,
that.
you got to have inside sources, Terry.
Well, you do. We looking at you.
You got to know people. You got to know people. We can work on that. Let's see. Y'all got to pick out a game that nobody else wants to go to. I would tell you.
Well,
Andre kind of wants to go to the Tampa game.
Okay. We see how far we're down the list.
Terry, Cowboys.
Well, y'all bailed me on that one. Y'all. What you did. I will say that you did offer.
Yeah.
You did.
All right, then.
well, yeah.
Let's see. Agree. You said you didn't want to have nothing to do with that stadium.
Yeah, I don't like that stadium.
Which one?
I've seen some
Bank of
very
America?
vicious people in that place.
I don't even know how to, if I'm even related to her at all, but my brother-in-law's wife, if that makes any sense to you whatsoever, she's from New Jersey. Her dad's a Cowboys fan. One of her brothers is a Jets fan. The other is an Eagles fan. So it's a big argument up there. And the one that's the Eagles fan is like a bodybuilder, so his biceps are like as big as Hunter. So it's fun to listen to him. It's fun listening to him argue. And but anyway, she's tried to convert. Since she's moved down here, she's tried to convert to a Panthers fan. Her husband and everything too. And so. What I was getting at is that, Terry, you're talking about going over to the stadium over there, and she was saying that in the upper deck, not the lower deck, that at Panther Stadium, you can compare it to the atmosphere in Philly. She says nothing will be worse as Philly.
Yeah.
No, there's no way. They threw snowballs at Santa Claus.
But she did say that she does, and other fans that from other teams have agreed over the past few years. Upper Bowl and Bank of America is a little rough up there sometimes.
I've had a lot of people ask me, even our principal over at our school, vice principal, he's asked me to go to Philadelphia with him a bunch of times to watch Philly and Dallas.
She said you can go, just make sure you wear an Eagles jersey, even if you
That's
both
it. That's exactly.
She said even if you don't have an Eagles shirt on, they'll question you why, to see if you're pulling for the other team and just trying to hide it. She said so you gotta. She's not a fan of that one. Anyway, back real quick. The rest of the schedule tomorrow night, we'll have Green Bay at New England, 7:30 p.m. here on Sunday Night Football on KTC. And that leads us into Monday Night football and Monday night sports on KTC. We got all kinds of things going on. Carolina Panther Talk begins at 6 o'clock on all three stations. Roy Williams Live is at 7 on OHS and WLON. Cherryville Investments on CSL. So Roy Williams will not be on the OHS on that, just WLON, because on WHS we will have Kings Mountain Crest. Also, Roy Williams will not be on at all. This is the old schedule. Scratch that. Terry, we got a special broadcast. Write it down. Newton Conover East Lincoln will be WLON Monday night game. So, Hunter, if you want some more run, you can go out to East Lincoln Monday night and join that if you want to do that. All right. That's the schedule for the week, folks. Give us a call. We're going to put it's on. If you'll go to ktcbroadcasting.com, on the very front homepage, folks, right, today's schedule usually is up there. It says KTC Today. It's got pictures roaming. Right below that, there's a Google schedule there. It's got all of our broadcasts for the day and every day going forward and everything. So check that schedule out if you want to know when and where what's on the broadcast schedule for KTC. A lot of people will call and ask if we're not here. Please just go to the website, check on. It's on the front page, folks. Just scrolling down. All right, guys. A couple more. Terry, let's go over the playoff schedules here for next week before we get into anything else. We were this Friday. There's technically no games in the area unless there's rainouts Monday. I guess they would push them back to maybe Friday if that happens. I doubt they'd want to play a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Well, you kind of put in a spot here because I know they gave them an extra week, and that's a plus.
Yep.
But if you move it all the way to Friday, then you got to play.
Right.
I mean, you know, because them rankings are going to come out the next day unless you're going to play early Saturday morning to get a game in. But,
Well, they say the rankings are coming out Saturday. They might come out Monday morning.
Well,
right?
you're true. Well, they're going to come out, then they're going to get every coach the right to say yes or no.
Complain about it.
Exactly, and then there'll be another one
Well, the
come
problem is that you start the season off and you say everybody that's in 4A's. But then you split everybody into 8A's and start arguing numbers, and then you got to get wins and losses added into it and who's qualified and who's not, and then you jump from one A to another A. And it's I wish they would start before the season. We've talked about this before, do the 6A thing and have the charters as one of them. I think I counted. This is unofficial. I mean, you could find out exactly if we really want to. But I went and counted, looking down my list here of charter schools in North Carolina. And this is totally unofficial. This is going by names. I was picking out preps, charters, all those names. I counted 48. And so that's plenty enough to make a playoff bracket, really, right? If you wanted that, I don't know, maybe add some of the I don't know how you fix that problem. Some people propose playing up in A, but then when you do that, you're still once you get to football, you're splitting into 8 different things. It's not predetermined. It's hard for us as fans to figure out exactly what's going on and who's going where. We have no idea, basically, who's playing who, right?
Yeah, we have no idea. And, you have to understand this committee comes together, and that's one of the reasons they send it out and give you every coach, because that coach is worried about himself.
Yeah.
That is the big thing. He's going to see stuff maybe they did not see in the committee to call them back and say, look, we did beat them, or somebody else did something that, that puts us above this team. And that way the committee can go back, because you got to understand that committee's looking at 300 and some teams. And when they're separating each one of them, they're not individually, unless you're from that school, looking at, hey, this is what Bandy's did this year.
Yeah.
And where Coach Eanes and his group's going to sit back and go, whoa, wait a minute, we should be in front of them and call them back, and that can be changed. So I do like how they send it out to the coaches. Let them look at it. Are you okay with this? And you send it back. If you got disagreements, you can send it back and say, look, we need to change. If they feel they're right, then they're going to leave it like it is. But, I do like that part of it. It's just like me. When I see all these brackets come out, and I'm going to be honest, and this is me on the back end, I never even look at that thing until Saturday night.
There's no point.
I mean, I have no idea, because it can change. You can see one thing, and it changes later. So I never pay it any attention.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Well, I mean, Terry, last year we had I feel like a decent number of changes from the preliminary bracket to when it actually came out, and going back to the whether or not the double A's work and everything like that, it's one of those things where they need to have a clear line in the sand and say this, if they're going to keep this around, where they have to get the ADM numbers, and they have to be consistent. I mean, it changes year to year. I mean, South Point's the biggest 2A school in the state, and it's not even really close. They're a hair Like, I mean, less than 100 kids away from being 3A. And, that's tough. Obviously, Shelby really didn't have a problem with them. But, I mean, that's something where I feel like that's something that needs to be fixed,
And I'm with you on every bit of that. That's the reason when I look back and I take Drone could almost be playing in 1A.
Yeah.
Of how many students they have at that school now. I don't know what their ADMs are this year, whether new people come in, new developments come up, or et cetera. And that's the biggest reason. People say, well, that ADM ought to stay about the same. Well, no, it does not.
No.
If you building up in your community, which in Lincoln County,
one new neighborhood.
Yeah,
Drone last year had 641.
There you go.
God.
I mean, that would have been 1A.
Yeah, not even close.
Cherryville's 523, give you an idea, and Bessemer's 640. So Bessemer's 640 and Drone 641. So Bessemer's in the 1A and Drone's sitting in the 2. So Terry, you got a great point on that. We do have a phone caller. Now, we don't know who's playing who, Terry. So sometimes, and these 1A teams do have to travel. We've got a coach, one of these 1A coaches, all the way in Chapel Hill, looking forward to at teams. I think is Philip Russ on the phone?
Yeah, I'm here.
you scouting in Chapel Hill, Philip, or you doing something more important?
Yeah, I'm down here picking up my better half.
Philip's fiance got engaged a couple weeks ago, guys. Want to give him some congratulations here on the radio while he's on here.
You were talking about the ADM numbers just now. The crazy thing is how how it all lays out in that next alignment. They're talking about right now us moving to 2A in the next realignment, which will be really interesting for us athletically. And then I'm gonna just mention this, just to give you guys something to talk about. We were playing Community School Davis the other night. We were talking about playoffs and who's going to go big 1A and small 1A. And the funny thing that kind of jumped out at us, they're saying that Mountain Island Charter is actually going to go small 1A. And the head coach from Community School Davis, T.J. Albert, he said, there is no way. He said, we'll go small 1A. He said, there is no way. He said, they have double the kids we have. He said, and he said, I don't know how the numbers work or how they have to report it, and who they have to report it to, and what numbers you can base it off of. He said, but there is no way that some of these schools report and can go in that small and big classification as opposed to just playing straight class.
Looking at last year's number, whatever was reported that came out official, Philip, we had Community School of Davidson at 499 and Mountain Island at 491. And so, like you said,
that's wild.
That was last year.
We went and played at Mountain Island, and I'm telling you, like, if you see that school, if they only have 400 kids in that school, then their teacher to student ratio is probably one teacher is probably teaching 5 kids there, because that school is massive. I mean, it looks like a small community college.
Well, they did this for the future, Russ.
Yeah. Well, Philip, you talking about looking like a small community college. Give you an idea on how many number of students. How about Cherokee High School? They only have 317 students in that school. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the nicest facilities I've ever been to. I don't think they could put every student in that school in the basketball gym and not come close to filling it up. So that gym's big enough. I mean, you could have a Western Regional in there easily, and not have a problem with it. So, facilities are different some places, but we always wonder about the charters. I mean, what is the solution? Is it playing up? Is it having our own division and conference so they can play by the same rules? You've been in the public school system in the 3A and 2A pretty much your whole life. Now that you're experiencing this 1A as a coach, Philip, in baseball, in basketball and football, they're all different. Maybe in baseball and basketball, you can get a stud and make some runs in the 1As until you get to these prep schools in the Final Four. But also in football. So from your perspective, what do you think might be a couple possible solutions or changes that maybe you could do to that?
Well, here's the dilemma. If you take away charter schools, you're almost going to alienate and eliminate 1A ball, because these charter schools actually give you a fortified schedule and people to compete with. I mean, if you think about it, just for instance, in our football schedule, it was hard for Bessemer and Cherryville to get games. I mean, they have to play each other in a non-conference game and then a conference game. And that's just because there's just lack of 1A teams right here immediately. And if you think about, the communities that, you have in Cherryville and Bessemer and Highland Tech, just right here in Gaston County, those three teams, we don't have the athletic budget to travel and play 1A teams like Swain County, Mitchell, Mount Airy. If you think about it, the 1A schools that are right here nearby, if you don't play charter, you're looking at 2, 3, 4 hour bus rides to get to opponents if you're not playing the same people over and over again to find new competition.
Well, Philip, the thing I'm thinking about is, say, if you put charters in their own division or whatever, and then what you would essentially then do 5A, you would essentially have some of these 2As backing up into you guys into the 1A bracket. When you spread it out, and I think so. You look at these numbers. So Cherryville at 523, and what I say Bessemer was 6 something. So it's not that far off from some of these schools around. But for you guys, you got to think: would you rather be playing a school, say like East Lincoln, who's got 200 more students, or would you rather be playing a school like Thomas Jefferson, who can bring in players from anywhere? And so that's what you have to think about as far as what's fairness to your 1A schools and stuff. And so would that, Cherryville and Bessemer have been in, Terry knows, West Lincoln, East Lincoln's in everybody's conference for years. It's never been a problem or anything. And it's just, it rotates. I think people take the football part of it so much serious and don't think about the other sports.
Well, and I'm going to tell you, if you think about gate-wise, you're going to, everything about sports is you've got to have a good football crowds to facilitate the rest of your athletic department. Mm-hmm. So, if you're playing a team, like, for instance, we played community school, just to bring them up, with the last game we played, and they brought a total of 9 people that were sitting in the visitor stands. 9 people for a team that come from a pretty good community. They just don't travel because football doesn't mean that much to some of these schools and areas, but people don't realize that gate, that money is what kind of facilitates your small sports like cross country, your track and field, your wrestling, your tennis program, stuff like that. And, to me, if it was my solution, if I could, lobby to the state, I would say, number one, you can let these guys play in a regular system, but they need to be like a Latin, Country Day, Christian, like they do in Charlotte. Those guys need to have like an independent or play against South Lake Christian or somebody like that, playing an independent top style, because it's hard to compete with, for instance, if you're playing one of these charter schools and they're pulling from 3 counties of kids, and then you got Cherryville and Bessemer who's played an outstanding, season in the regular season, and they're only drawing from their small municipality. It is very difficult to go play a team that has 4 or 5 cities worth of kids when you're playing with your limited demographic that you get to pull from.
Well, Coach, I'm going to ask you something. I'm with you on every bit of that, because I know when we played and Thomas Jefferson first come, and I'm speaking of basketball-wise, and they come to our place over at West Lincoln, they might have had 4 or 5 people. That's all that come from there. And, a minute ago we was talking about how far you have to go. As far as the AD and the school making money, it's not going to mean that much whether I'm playing a local team or I'm going way off, because I'm basically going to have the same amount of people no matter what I do, either place I go. And my whole deal in behind it is it for 1A schools to get other people to play them? And I'm just going to speak of instance, say a Bessemer City against a Lincolnton, or a Cherryville against a Lincolnton, or East Lincoln, et cetera, whoever. Is it that those schools do not want to play, or is it that they've got other plans with other teams to think that their school's going to be in stouter competition, or how do you look at stuff like that?
Well, it's definitely not like they have in college where you have, warm-up games or something where like Appalachia goes down and plays Alabama. It's definitely in that same situation to where you look at it, for instance, with us, you have contracts with people, and you just got to try to catch a team out of a contract year when they're looking for a game. But in the same token, with Max Prep's rating, with them using some of those algorithms, the thing that you jam up in, you could play some of those high-end teams, and like for us, it would help us. But let's say that we go to Lincolnton, and here we are 1A, we beat a Lincolnton. Now that may have some implications on them if they don't, if they lose more than one ball game. Do you drop a game you lost to East Lincoln, or do you drop the Bessemer City? Well, then, because you can drop a loss, you're going to have to drop the Bessemer City because you lost to somebody that's equal to you versus losing to somebody that's lesser than you. But, really and truly, it's just trying to find people that are open in the contract. I mean, you're going to want to put your kids in the best possible scenario. If you think about it, I mean, we're on one end of the spectrum, and Shelby High School was on the other end. I mean, here's a team that's winning 3-4 state championships in a row. Find me somebody to play is a little bit harder because everybody don't want to take that black eye on the schedule because you have that potential. Not a lot of people want to step up the plate and say, hey, I want to take on that state champion and try to, prove my worth. A lot of people back away from that and say, if we're riding high 4 games of the season, now we got this non-conference game against Shelby, they come in here and put 49 on me and I don't even score. What does that do to my team? What does that do to my crowds? You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things and a lot of factors that go into weighing how to build your schedule. I think that Coach Boone does a great job, at least with us, because you got to think we took a lot of lumps. I mean, we're 6-4 right now, but you lose the Chase, you lose the North Lincoln as potential conference champions, and you lose the Thomas Jefferson, probably the best team in our conference. But if you weigh out all our losses, especially non-conference, I mean, we were taking black eyes, but we were taking it from bigger teams that had more people. I mean, we went to Chase and we got down to our 7th and 8th string quarterback that I didn't even know we had. So it's one of those deals where we were putting ourselves against the wall to make our team better. But you want to do that in the first 1 through 3. You can't plan your close to conference. You need to start having you some tune-ups. But like I said, it just all depends on how and who's open.
All right, Philip, thanks for calling. We're about to talk baseball in a minute. You want to talk about your Red Sox for a second?
Oh, hey, I'm just ready for April to get here.
This is what you should do. People under 40 years old who are Red Sox fans should have to walk around, and everyone you see older 40 apologize to them. Because you guys have seen 4 World Series, and some of these folks lived almost 100 years and didn't see them win, and you guys are so spoiled right now. Does it feel good? Boston just keeps winning every sport, it seems like.
Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. As a baseball coach, that was a lot of people. It's so funny when you hear baseball fans who don't know the game or what goes into coaching the game. They're like, "Oh, that World Series sucked. Oh, these playoffs sucked. They were so fast." But to me, it's not the stud play by, like your franchise players. And that's what people don't realize about the Red Sox. You can sit there and put your finger and say, oh, this dude's a stud, this dude's a stud. Alex Cora won the World Series putting probably the most hated Red Sox pitcher on the mound. And he did that as a coaching move. I mean, he said he did it in a coaching move, more or less, give this guy an opportunity. Yes, we did have Sale pitching at home at, Game 6. But you put Price out there to prove it. If you look at the 2-out hitting, how many runs did the Red Sox score with 2 outs and runners in scoring position? Those are the small things that we as coaches, we basically preach on and coach on and try to really, hey, be a team guy here. Don't try to be the hero. And the Red Sox, I mean, we had just uncanny play. And the cool fact of it is, I don't know if anybody knows this, the MVP, Pierce, actually played his minor league ball in Hickory. He played us with the Crawdads. Mm-hmm. And I was looking back, and I think I've actually got his autograph on some stuff back when he actually played with the Crawdads.
Well, Hunter and Carson want to see a Red Sox Braves World Series next year. Me and Terry's looking for the All-Missouri fight between the Cardinals and Royals again. Rematch of 85, I think is what it was.
That's going to be a long time.
Yeah, it is. Something like that when Kansas City cheated the Cardinals that one time. Yeah. But other than that, so we've got a couple Braves fans in here. They're pretty excited about their season as well. Of course, all of our Braves listeners here on KTC. All right, are y'all gonna repeat? You gonna be in the World Series again next year, Philip?
Oh, if they can just recoup what we did and just the momentum, yeah. Because like I said, that style of play is awesome. I do want to give you a shout out. Your NFL team right now, the Cleveland Browns, looking for a head coach. Want to give them a shout out for you, Kevin.
I was about to say, are you applying?
and then super Cam down there in Carolina. I know that Matt Beam's real happy today, waking up with all these sports broadcasters giving Cam the big shout outs and the Panthers on their big rise, and then the epic I don't know what would you call it, the dumpster fire we're having right now in Dallas, where we're selling everybody for people that nobody wants. Maybe we'll figure out how to win some ball games here. I just, maybe we can pick up Eli Manning. Who knows?
Terry still says they're going 12-4, so he's still on the bandwagon. He hadn't hopped off yet, Philip, on that.
I'm telling you, it's just I get my popcorn ready. You never know what's going to happen. It's more or less not to watch the Cowboys on Sunday. I just like watching them Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
What's our next move, Jerry?
Garrett, what's your next move?
All right, final thing. We got to get to a break, Phil. The Battle of the Belt Monday night. You guys trying to get the belt back in Cherryville. The game was moved from last night. You guys prepared and ready for that, and going forward for Monday.
Oh yeah, Coach Pruitt and them guys. We know they're gonna throw the kitchen sink at us because they're on that brink and that cusp of getting a playoff game. Me and the guys, we're really excited about getting to make that travel and that trip up to Cherryville. We know that we've got to get that belt back, get that win. I mean, more or less for us, it's not about the belt. It's bragging rights for our kids. They love going to that Cherryville Walmart on that Saturday morning, or going to that Cherryville McDonald's and just smiling, wearing their greedy gold, and don't have to say nothing. So we're just preaching that, being able to walk around and hold our head high, and, carry that momentum into the playoffs, because we know we're in. We're going to get the second. We're second place in conference, no matter how that outcome of that game goes. So more or less, we're just trying to keep that momentum and take something positive going forward in the playoffs.
All right, Phil. My recommendation, if you do, if for the kids, if they do win, and you do, and they do come to Cherryville and they do come to eat, one of the funniest and best things when I went to Bessemer was I would bring Bessemer kids over to Cherryville and feed them Lottaburgers. And so, and we had a lineman who was getting recruited. He weighed about 370, and he came over here and he didn't make it. He didn't finish his Lottaburger, and he just sat back. He said that is a Lottaburger, and so you could open a lot of eyes over, bring a couple over, or just bring some Lottaburgers over there for them to eat if you guys can win Monday night. And good luck to both you and Coach Pruitt. Both of you, thanks for calling. Throughout the year and all the time, and keep us updated. Philip, once this football season's over, you can come in a couple of Saturdays or Friday nights and join us here, and I look forward to it. And you be careful and take care of that fiance.
All right, I sure will. And you guys have a good day. Thank you for letting me be a part of your wonderful show.
All right, Philip, have a good one, buddy.
All right.
Philip Russ, coach, assistant coach, line coach there for the Bessemer City Yellow Jackets football team, head baseball coach of the Bessemer City baseball team. All right, guys, we got to take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes on ktcbroadcasting.com.
Once upon a time is right now. Escape to the Renaissance Festival, a time-traveling adventure. Huzzah! Saturdays and Sundays, September 29th through November 18th. Presented by Pepsi. Endless entertainments.
Jousting night. Men in tights. Hi.
New sea ferries. The Living Mermaids. Magic and merriment.
Come to the Renaissance Festival.
Saturdays and Sundays, September 29th through November 18th. There's music, comedy, circus entertainments, a giant crafts market, jousting nights, and a feast, all rolled into a non-stop great family adventure.
The festival is so awesome.
Discount tickets at Hedestita stores or print your own online at renfestinfo.com. Renaissance Festival, here I come.
It's Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through November 22nd at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Dwight has gone turkey crazy. Buy a new Honda, get a free turkey. Buy a new Kia, get a free turkey. Buy a new GMC, get a free turkey. Buy a new Buick, get a free turkey. Buy a pre-owned vehicle and get a free turkey. All during Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through 22nd at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 Stixon Boulevard in Shelby. And Happy Thanksgiving from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink jet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
Isolated and alone?
That's how millions of Americans feel while experiencing a mental health crisis.
Need to talk? Our providers love to listen.
Call us now at 1-888-235-HOPE.
That's 1-888-235-4673.
Partners, improving lives and strengthening communities in North Carolina. 1-888-235-HOPE. 235-4673.
Nate Blanton of Crest High School is this month's McDonald's WOHS What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete of the Month. Nate is a junior at Crest High School and plays halfback and defensive line for the Crest Charger football team. In addition to football, Nate is also on the swim and baseball teams. Nate has a 3.9167 grade point average with advanced courses in civics, psychology, EDU 144, child development, horticulture, English, and AP stats. Nate is a FFA officer, student body president, and is a member of the Career and Technical Honor Society. He's a member of Double Springs Baptist Church and is a church volunteer in the Pregnancy Resource Center and worked for the Crest Supply Drive for the hurricane victims. And after college, Nate would like to go into psychology or special education and work with less fortunate people. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete Award is to recognize a student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also for overall achievements in the classroom and for overall school and community citizenship.
And good morning. Welcome back to Campers Inn, Saturday Sports Talk. I'm Kevin Hastings along with Texas Terry Reinhardt, Bandy's Yancey. Hold on. I ain't turned you on. Go there, Carson.
Have you heard the Kawhi version of this yet?
No.
It's literally his laugh. Dude, you next
doing Matt B?
Yes.
Shut up.
It's the greatest thing.
awesome.
I make a podcast for school, and we had an NBA preview episode, and that was our intro music, was the Kawhi laugh.
Why am I never invited to be on your podcast?
Sometimes,
I got you, honey.
sometimes the internet can be awesome. A lot of times it's awful.
I'm gonna have to, dude. Oh my god, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I know.
Twitter is the place where you go to complain about
Twitter's
everything
so
in the world.
fast. I want you to be on. Like, if anything happens, Twitter knows about it before even the networks.
And it used to be a good thing about it that a lot of times not.
The hell with Twitter.
Yeah, the online comments are just on our broadcast, Terry. We'll have people's mothers say, "Hey, look how good my kid is," and then complain about the cameraman or announcer the very next comment.
Mm-hmm.
Someone complained about Jeff Jones last night. Carson, get this, that he hates kickers. Jeff Jones is the former kicking coach. Brent Pascoe, the other announcer, was the kicker for Jeff Jones.
I was gonna say that's the special teamist broadcast.
I learned this. They taught us this at broadcasting school, and I've seen content creators say this as well. It said, "Do not look at the comment section. Just
never.
do not.
Never
look at it.
If they're not complaining, you're not doing something right.
Exactly. That means you're not doing anything.
And not just that. If they're not complaining, it means they ain't watching.
Right, that's true too.
Hey, you still watching, right?
But we was making a point last night, and I know Hunter and Carson might not know, but Tom, one of our announcers last night.
Right.
Now get this, folks that don't say we don't. Some people don't. You don't care about the kids. Well, our announcer who works at the school.
Yeah.
They were supposed to get in their car and drive to the game and announce the game. Well, last night, last minute, emergency duty, Mr. Cinefani drives the cheerleading bus to the game in North Gaston. So KTC loves their high school sports so much. We will drive the cheerleading buses to the games for your school. Call Thompson and Fonnie 704.
Thompson and Fonnie, fully licensed bus driver.
Fully licensed. What is that? Uber bus driver for cheerleading teams.
Yeah. No, you go on Uber. There's Uber.
No, don't say that too loud. We might lose that idea. Copyright, trademark. Oh
gosh,
there's Uber X, Uber XL, and then Uber Tom.
Oh,
and he just pulls up in an activity.
I can't wait till we're Ubering in the drones. I want
I'm terrified.
The self-man, the little helicopters.
Nope.
I want a helicopter.
Amazon.
I want a KTC helicopter so bad.
Oh man,
You'll be an Amazon drone.
We're gonna land our helicopters over at the fields. And
you're gonna pull a Larry Fedora.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna be like, oh look, it's lit. Oh, it's Kevin.
Gonna hop out. CTE's not real. Concussions are no problem.
CTE's not real, but KTC Broadcasting is.
Him and Merrill Hodge apparently are on the same page on that now.
Yeah,
is that not insane? So,
all right. That book? Oh God.
Yeah, no, I did not get the
book. Like, do they not believe in science?
No, they don't. Clearly.
It seems like everyone, depending on what subject it is, believes in science or not. Like people jump back and forth on science, and
they like it when it helps them, and then they hate it when it hurts them.
It depends on what the definition of is. So
all right, Bill.
Let's go to that.
Right. Well, I talked about that in
starts
class.
all of that. That starts
I talked about
everything.
that in a class this week. What is?
That started it all.
The science guy.
Well, no, wrong, Bill.
Terry's wearing an Indiana hat today.
Well.
No.
What?
Kinda.
No. Terry.
That's the wrong color.
What you doing with the Independence hat on there?
Oh, we all know. Don't ask that question like you don't know the answer. That's Terry's boy. That's his baby daddy.
How many hats you got, Terry?
What? I got all kind of hats.
Total hats.
No, yeah, Terry, give me. Okay, no wait.
My wife tells me that I should get rid of. I've probably got. And this is no lie.
Oh, wait, Terry.
Maybe 150 I've never worn.
I wanted to guess
yeah, exactly.
He didn't even give y'all a chance.
I know. I wanted to set an over/under, Terry.
Oh.
I don't see the point of why you don't shave all your
on?
head if you're just gonna put a hat over it all the time anyway.
Well, that's what
it's
they used to
warm.
do when I was
Go
growing
Jordan
up.
on it, man.
I like wearing the hat though, like when we wear headphones and whatnot.
Yeah, that too.
That helps.
I know.
I like that.
Yeah, it gets stuck to your top if you don't have a hat
He
on.
doesn't like, but I don't blame.
What's wrong with your scalp? Why is it sticky?
Did you get the
oils? Did you get the Miss Butterworths on top of your scalp?
Hey, but no, Terry.
That's what I'm
Terry, I don't blame you for wearing that
thick
hat.
and rich, just like Terry's scalp.
I don't blame Terry for wearing his hat because I know he wasn't wearing an NC State hat today.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the helmet in front of him.
I know he's got the
He'll be
helmet.
all right.
I'm
That's enough.
highly surprised after what Socrates did to y'all.
All right, guys, let's do our pick'ems this week. College football. Hunter wasn't here last week. I threw in on some of the picks. I think I got a couple right here.
Well, you did.
Well,
Me
heck
and,
yeah.
Carson won the week last week.
Did I?
He did.
Carson won.
Yeah,
the
boy.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, I have a
We
piece
did
of paper
14.
here.
We
I have a
did
piece
14.
of paper here, and I
Carson
hope
went 10 and 4.
good.
Me and you
Ooh.
went 9 and 5.
10-4. Let's go.
So
I'll take that.
I just want y'all to know that I got the exact same thing as Terry did, and I don't even watch college football.
So, Kevin, are you trying to get in on this when I'm making this right here?
Well, I mean, I'm 9 and 5 and don't even watch. What I mean, if I mess
all
around
right,
and watch a game, I might go 13 and 2.
All right, well, here. I've got it. All right. So we'll just have a set of
Will asked me last night why I didn't watch, and for people that don't ask, I said I don't watch fake football. And he said, why is it fake football? I said, well, on Saturday, we all go to these stadiums. We run into each other. They even have a scoreboard, and they put numbers on it and stuff. But then on Monday, we vote on who won. I don't get it. So that's college football to me. We vote on who won on Monday. That's the weirdest thing. All right. So, sorry, go ahead, Hunter, in your thought. Or do you have you already forgot it?
No, I was just saying. Well, let's go ahead and figure out what games we're going to pick, and I'll put yours picks down as well.
We're ready to go. Louisville at number 2, Clemson.
Clemson.
Oh, God,
Clemson.
Clemson. Nebraska at number 10, Ohio State. Do the Buckeyes choke it away today?
IO.
19, Socrates at Wake Forest.
I'm going Syracuse.
Yeah, I gotta go Syracuse. I mean, Wake's not bad, but their defense isn't good.
That's a good breakdown. You don't have to put mine in there, Hunter. We've got to get through this quick today. Texas A&M number 20 at Auburn.
Terry, what did you pick on the Syracuse game?
That's funny. I might take Syracuse.
All right.
All right, now Texas A&M Auburn, Terry.
Is it at Auburn?
At Auburn.
Auburn,
yeah. War Eagle.
Shut your mouth.
Iowa State Cyclones at Kansas.
Iowa State.
Iowa State's number 24.
Yeah, Iowa State. Yeah.
Iowa State, funny that we're talking about that. Their head coach is being rumored that Cleveland might go for him for their head coaching position. Just putting that out
Like the
there.
college Cleveland?
No, the Browns.
Cleveland
The
State, the
Browns.
Vikings?
The
Be careful.
Browns.
Be careful.
All
A lot
right.
of college coaches cannot do something in the NFL.
You're right, Nick Saban.
Number 13, West Virginia. At number 17, Texas.
I'm going to go Texas.
At Texas, I'm taking Texas. I think it's a bounce back from the Oklahoma State game.
Yeah, I think Texas. I don't know if
Now,
Will
I
Greer-
like Will Greer. I think Will Greer is one of the top, NFL prospects coming out for a quarterback. But I think Texas does it. At Texas too.
Number 16, Iowa. At Purdue.
I'm taking Purdue.
Ooh.
Me too.
Iowa.
I'm going Purdue on
going
account of
Iowa.
their playing at home. This is a team that lost their first 3 and turned around and won like 3 or 4 in a row. now.
Purdue's got.
Plus
They're
you're playing
playing
at
for
Purdue.
something. They're playing for something. That young man up there that's fighting cancer.
They got a young guy that's running back for them. Kind of reminds me of the kid that's running for Burns. He's small, he's little, but he's fast as light.
Kejuan Pryor is,
And besides Iowa,
Terry's talking about there.
it's
for you
always
Burns
about
fans.
these Big Ten schools. If they're ranked high, just look at what Purdue did to Iowa State. Somehow, if it's a ranked high Big Ten school facing one of the lower Big Ten schools, there's bound to be an upset. And Iowa's one of those schools that's bound to get upset. So I think that just happens this week.
Alrighty, then we've got Florida State Seminoles. They come into Raleigh to play the somehow still ranked NC State at number
I'm
21.
taking the Wolfpack. Florida State is a shell of itself after Jimbo Fisher left.
You know, that's scary. We usually pretty good against Florida State, but our daggum secondary, our corners have got to play. I mean, we got blown out.
Do you have
last week.
Do you have a good pass rush?
Yeah, we'll be okay. I'm gonna take State to win on.
Yeah, I'll
at
take
home.
State. Yeah.
Wait a minute. What state?
Our
Y'all
state.
just can't take a state.
It is our state. North Carolina State is our state.
I'll
We
take
even
State.
got it on.
State.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Francois get absolutely crushed if you've got a good pass rush, and I think he's just shell shocked at this point. He's ready to transfer.
Number 14, Nittany Lions of Penn State at number 5, Michigan.
I'm taking Michigan.
I'm taking Michigan. Penn State's overrated.
Yeah, Michigan. I just I don't think they've.
I would say something. Jim Harbaugh could be the best coach in college football. He could be the best.
All right, Colin.
Now look, I like a lot of Colin's takes, but just think about it. What he's done in the Michigan program, and he's only been there 3-4 years. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban, but
Ray
Nick
Meyer
Saban
at
was
Ohio
doing this
State.
before he
I'll
even
tell you
got
who
to college football.
I'll tell you who I think the best coach is in just a minute, but we'll get to that in just a
If
second.
you say something with a fedora.
No.
I'm just kidding.
It does not rhyme with Hedora.
Does it rhyme with Tabo?
No.
Dang it.
Or plethora.
Plethora. That's how you pronounce that word.
That's all right. Plethora.
Plethora.
Missouri Tigers at number 11, Gators of Florida.
Florida's back for Florida.
Number 22, Boston College at Va Tech. The ugliest game on TV today.
Yeah, that's
Boston College.
I'm gonna go Tech. Yeah,
I'm going Virginia Tech.
I just Boston College. I don't know if they can score enough.
I think Virginia Tech started out hot, but they've teetered. They have teetered.
Number 15, the Utes of Utah at Arizona State Sun Devils.
Give me Arizona State.
I'm
like
taking
me
Utah.
some Herm Edwards.
Yeah, I gotta go Utah. I don't. I mean, Arizona State had a couple good wins early. It's just
Utah or Utah State.
Oh, I read this wrong. Dang it. Ooh, I got time to make it, though. Huh. I thought I read the schedule wrong this year. I thought App was playing Coastal in Boone. They're playing in Coastal this year. We have a house about 5 minutes from there. Y'all want to load up and go? No?
I got something to do tonight.
I got something to do today. Oh, yeah, you do got something to do tonight, don't you? Dang, if I'd have known that, I'd have planned to get down there today. App at Coastal Carolina, 5 o'clock. It's on ESPN+.
Oh, App. It's not even a game.
App's going to blow this one out.
Yeah,
I just want to go to that stadium. I don't know if any of y'all have seen it or not.
I have. It's really nice.
I've not seen it from the inside, but they've been built since App joined their conference, basically, or where they started playing together. This stadium is teal. So if surprise,
The Chanticleers.
but the Chanticleers Stadium from the road, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Looks like a great place to play. It's one of those stadiums to where if I was hosting a state championship, instead of like Chapel Hill or Raleigh where you got 50,000 seats, this is the type of stadium you'd want to have it in. It's a lot smaller, a little bit closer to Chapel Hill not Chapel Hill, but Charlotte type seating. And I just want to get to a game down there. It looks so cool, and I've been wanting to see the Mountaineers. I guess I'll see them in 2 years. Put that on the calendar. Somebody write that down on a piece of
This
paper.
reminds me, this is like our own little college game day. We just need mascot hats.
We got
Terry.
a tiger back there behind Terry's head. We got one.
Whoa. We need multiple.
Behind you is a Cleveland Brown hat.
No, what we got all these helmets on Friday nights. We got
I know,
the
that's what
last
y'all
game.
need
We
to-
got to start just sticking a helmet on Terry.
Well, Terry's got a big old noggin.
Mountaineer over again.
Yeah, we got the mountain banana, whatever
Terry
this thing
can be
is.
like our Lee Corso.
Oh, definitely. Well, he does
Kinda
the points. He
senile.
just doesn't have the. He doesn't have the pencil, but he's got the points.
He said, not so fast.
And he's going to be honest with you. We do know that. Terry's going to be honest with you.
Let me be honest.
All right, let's finish the picks. I just wanted to mention the app game. $23, you can get tickets for that. So you can afford it if you're in Myrtle Beach today, if you're an app fan. Charlotte is at Tennessee today. You can get the ticket for $6.
we really
UNC.
picking that game?
No, we're not picking. I'm just
but-
unless you think we need to pick that game.
Hey, Charlotte won last week, so I don't know.
Notre Dame at Northwestern.
Notre Dame.
Fighting Irish.
Are we going? We're going chalk. Are we going chalk on all these picks?
Listen, I think Notre Dame wins, but I think it is real tight.
Where are they at?
At Evanston, Illinois.
Does a study session break out in the stands?
We can only hope.
Louisiana Tech at 18 Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
Yeah, Mississippi State.
MISS, and I'm just kidding.
Number 7 Oklahoma at Texas Tech.
Oklahoma. Kyler Murray's too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Number 23 Fresno State at UNLV.
Fresno State.
I don't know enough about UNLV to pick them. I'm going to go Fresno
Yeah,
State.
I go Fresno.
Larry Johnson and Stacey Augman and Greg Anthony used to play for UNLV basketball.
Okay, I know
That's
UNLV
pretty good.
basketball. I know the history of that.
California Golden Bears at number 8 Washington State.
Washington.
Yeah, Washington State.
Yeah.
Mike
Washington
Leach is,
State.
is crazy, but he's crazy like a fox.
All right, the second best SEC game of the day today, Alabama at LSU.
That's right. I'm taking LSU.
I'm going Alabama. There's no way.
I'm picking Alabama, but all these people that are picking against Alabama, thinking that that'll negatively.
Hopefully, just pray.
Just
Can we
listen,
pray?
listen.
That they just get beat?
Listen,
No, I don't want them to get beat now
because if they get beat, then they don't have to play an SEC championship game, and it's just like last year
Yeah.
where they get
And
they get
there's
another
automatic-
week off.
And there's 2 automatic SEC teams. If
Yep.
Alabama loses this game, and what would be best if people believed in fixing games like I do, if you're the SEC commissioner, are you not telling them LSU wins
Lay
this
down.
game today?
Lay down.
Because if Alabama loses, they're in the Final Four no matter what. And
Yep.
then whoever the SEC champion is, we get 2 teams in the Final Four,
Yep.
twice the payout. Folks, don't
Yep.
think it don't happen. Be careful if you're betting on Alabama today. I'm telling you, Terry, be careful.
No, I agree.
It's in the best interest for the SEC for
taking
Alabama to lose
Alabama.
today, if they're going to
They
lose.
are that much better, and
That's
and
true.
I'm
I
gonna
just
tell you,
want-
Who does LSU end
There.
with? What's the remainder of their schedule for LSU?
$281 for a ticket today. I'm pulling up your LSU
Lord.
schedule. They finished at Arkansas.
Ugh, that's a win.
Big game versus Rice,
Oh God.
That's a win.
and at Texas A&M.
That's a win.
Now, okay, now LSU they could lose to Texas A&M. I don't
That'd be
think
the
they will,
that would be the only one
but that would be the only way.
where you could foresee it happening.
Yeah. Now, I forgot, I was just thinking, well, maybe they haven't played like Auburn yet, but then I remembered they beat Auburn, so never mind.
SEC, looking at the standings real quick as you bring that up, it's Georgia and Kentucky. They're playing today
Yes.
for the SEC. Basically, whoever wins this game is going to the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
And they'll be facing whoever wins the Alabama-LSU game. So you've got basically today.
I'll go ahead and pick that game. I got Georgia winning.
You've got the semifinals of the SEC championship game today.
Yeah.
Basically, and then like you guys said, I mean, if you got Georgia and LSU in the championship game, or Kentucky LSU, Alabama's getting in, and then the winner of that's getting in, and everyone else is
Could you
screwed once
imagine if
again.
could you
Can you
imagine
imagine
if
a
they put
championship?
Kentucky in the
Well,
college
there you
football
go.
playoff?
Well, can you imagine that being your championship game, Alabama against Kentucky?
Guys, if Kentucky
For
wins
the
the
SEC.
write this down. Someone write this down. If Kentucky wins the SEC championship over LSU, the Final Four will consist of 3 SEC teams.
Probably.
Why do you say 3?
LSU, Alabama, and Kentucky.
There's no way they put a 2-loss.
They would kick LSU out of there even if they beat Alabama.
They've thrown them in straight into the national championship game with 2 losses.
No matter what, until you get 8 teams and you're doing this fictitious, we're going to put in whatever
There's
stuff
no way
in.
they put a 2-loss LSU team in the Final Four.
They've put him all the way into the national championship game before.
They have after
Well,
losing
you have
that.
to understand, Hunter, how fast they grew. I mean, it wasn't, 2 or 3 weeks. Them son of guns are ranked 5th.
Now they're 3rd.
Yeah, but they've beaten quality teams.
Well,
all right, for
Terry, we could say the same about NC State, and then look what happened. They hit a roadblock.
For
with Clemson and
$281, you can have
Syracuse.
tickets for Alabama LSU. For $127, you can get with Hunter on the bus and go out and see the best SEC game of the day.
Yeah.
Georgia Bulldogs at Kentucky Wildcats, right? Who you guys got?
I got Georgia.
I got Kentucky.
I got Georgia. Kentucky's too one-dimensional. They cannot throw the ball.
Georgia can be that way too.
But I mean,
Fromm's kinda
Jacob
not a
Fromm is
shaky leg.
way better than anybody Kentucky has.
Georgia is the only SEC team that I will pull for in any sport. Maybe every now and then Tennessee, since Philip Crosby won championship there. But the rest of them I won't pull for them in anything, except this year I hope Kentucky runs the table and throws the biggest monkey wrench ever into it. Because every year in college football, that's what I'm pulling for, is just all chaos. So let's have 3 SEC teams and Clemson and just make everybody just piss off the whole country. How about that?
Yeah,
Can you imagine
three
the
quarters.
SEC having again Alabama play Kentucky for the SEC championship? Can you imagine the spread?
Oh Lord,
it's going to
Kentucky
be
will be a
24,
fit-
25 point
I'm
spread.
about to say Kentucky will probably be. Let's keep it reasonable. They'd probably be a 17-point underdog. Kentucky
it's going
will
to
be a
be way up
17-point
there.
underdog.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, guys, we got to take another break. We'll be back talk NBA, baseball, NBA, baseball, NASCAR, NFL. We've got to squeeze a lot in the last little bit. We'll be back. KDC Broadcasting.
Hi, I'm Fred Jarrett, a candidate for Lincolnton City Council. As the chair of the Lincolnton Downtown Steering Committee, a Lincoln volunteer firefighter for over 30 years, and past Lincoln County Board of Education member, I have a record of service to our community. I understand the importance of conservative government and working with the public. And as a member of the Lincoln City Council, I will continue to fight for our community. Vote Fred Jarrett, your hometown candidate for Lincoln City Council, paid for by the Lincoln County Republican Party.
Hi, I'm Paul Urey. I'm a candidate running for Lincolnton City Council on November the 6th. While on the council, I will work with the community to continue to strengthen our city to create sustained growth for generations to come. I'm Paul Urey, running for Lincolnton City Council, paid for by the committee to elect Paul Urey.
Dr. John L. Cloninger III of Lincolnton will brighten your smiles with professional cosmetic dentistry and smile enhancement procedures for everyone. Even Duke fans will smile at the work of this Tar Heel. The office of Dr. John L. Cloninger III is located at 904 Doncha Drive. For an appointment, call 704-735-0765. That's 704-735-0765. And John III says best wishes to all high school athletes.
Maybe a punctuation mark on a career night.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with Chris Young, who recently had the chance to play golf with Bill Murray.
They paired me with Bill. They're like, so you're going to come down, we'll make sure you get to golf with Bill Murray. You're a Bill Murray fan, and it was really cool. It was just a really, really awesome day.
That's Chris Young this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country, 92.3 FM and 1590 AM WCSL. Online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
I don't even know where you're sitting at.
God, of course.
Did your phone call?
I got a phone call as soon as I start that. Naturally.
Hey, decline it. We're going back
You
in.
have to answer that call on the air and fuss at them, tell them you're on the air.
Oh, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not that stupid.
Okay. Carson don't want in on that one.
I don't want those problems.
That was, if you're wondering what in the world that sound was, it was Kawhi Leonard.
I'll bring it back up as soon as this call, as this person, as soon as they give up.
Just hit the decline button.
It's the greatest thing I've ever heard. Wait for the octave change.
If you didn't know, folks, that's Kawhi Leonard laughing and they put it on a laugh track to the old 90s NBC NBC theme song, NBA NBC theme song. So that's just hilarious. Kawhi laughing.
The internet's undefeated.
So Hunter,
yeah,
Wizards, 1-7 now. 1-6 before Dwight Howard joined the team last night.
Tank for Zion.
In 23 minutes, Howard had 20 points, 7 of 8 from the field.
Yeah.
So let's see how are y'all going to blame him for this after starting 1-6?
The fact he hasn't been on the court. Look, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I never thought Scott Brooks was the answer, anyways. When we brought him in, you know, after
Hunter's a Wizards fan, by the way.
I am a Wizards fan. Obviously, I will give credit to the age-old stat everybody wants to bring up is that your team does not win when your point guard is the leading scorer on your team. Yeah. John Wall. I think John Wall is my favorite player in the league. Raleigh kid, you know. I just hate that he played at Kentucky instead of North Carolina. Roy Williams, you botched that, but that is for another day. Anyways, you would think for such a skilled backcourt as the Wizards have, they would win more games. Because not only is John Wall an all-star, Bradley Beal's an all-star of a shooting guard, if not a more consistent scorer than John Wall is. And John Wall can get you 20 assists a game like it's nothing. And he plays hard defense. I do not. Yeah. All right. There we go. Yeah, look at that. For those of you watching in TV land, a.k.a. YouTube, there's a Washington Wizards jersey being.
I had this stuff, Hunter, prepared to pick them to make the Eastern Conference Finals, and you're 1-7.
Yeah.
I've got my Rasheed Wallace jersey from the Bullets. That's what that is, Carson. And my Jordan Wizards jersey for Hunter. So when I switch, Hunter, there's a good possibility I'm coming to the Wizards.
Well, come on. I mean, obviously, there's a bunch of room for you.
You'll be just as disappointed there as you will.
You'll be just as disappointed as I am. I'm just going to let you know right now, I do not think Scott Brooks is the answer. He was able to make it work.
You got a lot of problems
besides Scott Brooks. We do have a lot of problems besides Scott Brooks. But I think Scott Brooks, look, what helped Scott Brooks, and not everybody can say that they had 3 of the best players on the planet on the same team at one time like he did at Oklahoma City. No one saw that coming. No one saw James Harden becoming what he is today. Everybody knew Russell Westbrook had star power, and everybody knew what Kevin Durant was. Probably 1A, the best player in the league besides LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, so Scott Brooks, you could say, because after they left, even when he was still there for a year with Russell Westbrook, what did they do? They really didn't do anything, did they? They really didn't do anything. So I think Scott Brooks really isn't the answer. I still think there's kind of I want to be the top dog going on over there in Washington between Bradley Beal and John Wall. They don't know whose team it is. Kelly Oubre has his moments. He's still young to me, though.
They're all still young.
But what's so crazy is everywhere as Dwight has been since leaving Orlando, they really haven't been too hot. So I don't know. And yet Dwight doesn't play bad. So I don't know.
It's almost like he's a bad person.
It's almost
not
like
a bad basketball player.
It's almost like he's just got this little curse that comes along with him.
Yeah, it's almost like people don't like him.
How many of his teams have made the finals since he left them?
Zip.
Yeah, okay. So let's before we all start talking about how bad Dwight is, they were 1-6 before he got there.
No, I never said he was a bad player. I said he play everywhere he goes. He plays good.
They were having arguments in this locker room last year. Remember, Bill was it Wall and Gorsuch? So Wall got Gorsuch traded.
No, he's still there. Marcin Gortat's still there.
He's still there. I thought they traded him. I was reading that thing last night. I didn't even get to the end of it.
Wall and Bradley Beal have this feud that they don't make public, but everybody knows it's there because Bradley Beal wants to be the guy, but Washington has given the keys to John Wall.
I think you need to trade John Wall.
I just blow it up at that point.
Washington if you do that.
Did Washington win last night? No, they got beat by Oklahoma City. 134.
They were getting booed at halftime.
Beal and Wall combined had 12 turnovers.
That's bad.
Oklahoma City had 13.
And that's a team with Russell Westbrook on it.
Yes. But I will say this: Oklahoma. I mean, they're not
Russ had
They're
one
not what
turnover.
they could be, but they're not. They don't have bad players. Jerry and Grant is not.
No, he's a
bad.
great defender.
He's
That-
great.
I think you
Paul
got one of the
George
best.
is good.
You got one of the best rosters in the league.
That's what I'm saying.
How you want it to
when
say?
Washington's
You got
got-
a
On
bunch
paper.
of individual
Yeah,
players
on
in the
paper,
league.
right?
On paper.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah, I mean,
on
we're talking
paper,
about
yes.
you're talking about Wall and you're talking about Bill. Well, if they feed it to Howard, Howard's not giving it
There,
back to
no,
him.
Well,
it's a black hole. As
First
soon as
of all,
you give it to
they're
him, it's not coming
First
back.
of all, they're not feeding it to him because he was 7 of 8 last night. Bill and Wall combined for 29 shots.
I'd
They're
like
not,
to know
they're
how many
not
times
doing
he
it.
touched it.
Who? Howard?
Howard.
We 7 of 8 from the field.
Well, I know that, but I'm talking about it. Did he ever get it and give it back to somebody?
No, there's no way.
So now you're blaming Howard?
No,
I'm just saying
blaming
he's
Howard.
not- He ain't
even
I'm just
been
thinking
there.
That whole team is just totally
Only one that was
out
positive out of the starting
whack.
5 was Otto Porter. And my God, Brooklyn about gave him a max
You
contract.
can't look at plus and minuses. That's that thing. Those aren't. I understand the argument for him, but it's still
Yeah.
you can't.
But even then, John Wall still almost had a double-double. He almost had 10 assists.
yeah,
almost
Wall
had a
19 and 9.
I don't think John Wall is the cancer. I think it's Bradley Beal.
You think it's Bill?
I think it's Bradley Beal. Because John Wall still go out there and get his 10 to 15 assists. He just happens to be able to score as well. He might be one of the best two-way point guards in the league.
Who's the second guy that come off the bench?
Well, let me put it this way: you guys
Who?
scored 111 points last night. That's more than NBA.
Kelly Oubre.
Why would you let him shoot? He shot more than anybody on the team.
6 of 17, 0 of 6 from
Shooters
3.
gonna shoot, son.
0 of 6 from 3.
That son of a
He's
gun
out
needs
there
to be
Marvin
sitting
Williams.
on the bottom of the thing. They
Look,
don't even
I was
come
not.
in.
I was not even hot on the Kelly Oubre drafting
This
him out
is
of
not
Kansas,
bad.
as young
Howard.
as he is.
Howard 7 out of 8, Wall 8 out of 13, Brill 10 out of 16. You can't ask for nothing else. Porter 4
You
out
can
of
ask
6.
them to play defense.
Well,
that's
true.
Carson's got that part right, and that's what I was about to say is that they
But
scored
y'all's bench is
111
terrible.
points last night. This is a regular
probably is.
in a regulation game. Y'all give up 134 points.
Yeah.
That's a regulation score.
Someone else gave up a bunch of points.
Yeah, there was another
There was
big.
another big one, wasn't it? Look at that. The Clippers, 120 on Orlando. Granted, Orlando's like butter. Like, they're just awful. I was going to say something else. I had to kind of remember we're
Like
on air,
butter.
and FCC would not let me say what else I wanted
No,
to
they-
add to
they-
butter.
they-
But
they
you know
won't
what I'm
agree with that.
saying.
I'm going to say something else about the NBA. I think, and we keep saying they're good anyway. Golden State continues to get better. I think Thompson has finally figured out how to fit in with this group, and he's shooting.
Oh,
the
he's
ball.
always known. I feel like
Yeah, you know.
if anybody has understood his role, it's been Klay
I
Thompson.
say they run for 82.
We're 9 and 1.
At this point, well, 81. now. 81. At this point, you run for the quest for 81 begins. So what? We know you guys might win the championship.
All right, we're about to have some fun right here, guys. Raise your hand at the table if you had the Denver Nuggets as the 2 seed. Raise your hand at the table if you had Portland at 3.
Well, they were 3 last year.
Raise your hand at the table if you had San Antonio at 4.
DeMar DeRozan's actually
Raise your
kinda
hand
worked out
if
for
you
him.
had Memphis at 5.
Always
God, no.
consistent. Memphis is.
No,
Yeah, they are.
I just
Sacramento at 6.
No Sacramento.
No way.
Clippers at 7.
I
And
coulda
Jazz
said
at
the
8.
Clippers. I could have
Utah,
said
yes.
Utah and the Clippers.
So
7 and
currently, out of the playoffs right now is Anthony Davis and the Pelicans, Russell Westbrook and the Thunder,
The Rockets.
Jimmy Butler and the Junk in Minnesota,
So, well, for
LeBron
now,
and the
Jimmy
Lakers, the Houston Rockets are
Harden.
2 and 5. So like, there's those 5 teams. I would say most everyone had them in the playoffs or close to the
I'm
playoffs.
surprised-
Pelicans, Thunder, Timberwolves, Lakers, and Rockets.
I'm gonna be honest. If you would have tell me which 2 teams I would have flipped that are in and out, like just looking at this, who I would have had early season predictions, flip Denver with Houston. I would have had Houston at 2 by now, and Denver maybe with 2 wins.
Last year, Houston lost their 5th game. By the time they lost their 5th game, they were 25 and 5. Now they're 2 and 5.
Denver has given up 103 points a game, which is best in the West. No, Memphis is best in the West at 100. Sorry, Memphis. Houston's given up 115 a game. You want to look at your Wizards? 124 a game.
Oh boy,
124 a game.
That's not
And
the-
remember,
yeah.
Howard hasn't been there. That's Bill and And while
Well, they
not
gave up
playing any
134
defense
with him
whatsoever.
last
Who
night.
they played so
He played
far?
20 minutes.
Who's Washington? I don't even remember who all Washington's played so far.
I bet you don't.
It don't matter. So Cleveland's 1-7.
Because I will say this: losing to Oklahoma City, guess what? I probably would. If you'd have told me who I would choose to win, I probably would have taken Oklahoma City. I think Oklahoma City's got 2 of the best 10 players in the league.
The West has 10 teams at 500 or better. The East has 6. Only 6 teams in the East right now are currently above 500, which is bad news and good news. Bad news is only 6 teams are decent. The good news for the Hornets is if you're mediocrely decent, they're in the playoffs right now, 4-5. So is Miami at 4-5. And you look at that and you're like, well, can they hold on to? Well, who behind them is going to make a run? Brooklyn, the Knicks, Magic, Hawks, Bulls, Cavs, Wizards are the only team out of there. Think about it. You're 1-7. You're 2 games out of the playoffs.
Look how bad the East is.
I want, but
1-7, and they're 2 games out of the playoffs.
I will say
Terry.
this: if you go purely roster-wise, yes, Washington should be the team that would be the only one to chase the teams in front of them. Strictly roster-wise,
You're better Miami and Charlotte. You should be.
Yeah, the only other team down there in the lower half that I would say roster-wise that could also make a run is Chicago. But Chicago's just too young. They're too young. They're one of those up-and-coming teams where if they can, really work with their core players, get Levine to actually, he looks like he could be something, Zach Levine.
He's just got to get more efficient.
Yeah, you could say that about a bunch of young players. They show flashes. They just got to be able to do it on a consistent level and with efficiency. So there's a bunch of young talent in Chicago, but the East right now it's really a 2-team conference right now because we all know what Milwaukee does when it comes playoff times. They kind of crap the bed. So it looks like it's probably just going to be Toronto and Boston. And to be honest, I don't really know how Toronto's going to do come playoff time either because,
well, the thing about them is that they got Kawhi now instead of DeRozan.
And there's no LeBron.
And there's no and they got Danny Green too.
Yeah,
it's not like that. Not only did they improve the DeRozan spot, they improved whatever spot Danny Green came into.
Yeah,
and so now they've got 3 good. Their backcourt is that the best backcourt in the NBA, not counting the Golden State Warriors?
Who?
The Toronto. Larry
and
Green and Kawhi. 1, 2, 3. Is that the best in the NBA besides the Golden State Warriors? You'd have to put the Rock. Is the Rockets the next one in that?
Chris Paul, James Harden, and who's their 3?
Carmelo.
But he comes off the bench.
Yeah.
He comes off the bench, so he doesn't necessarily part of their starting
I think
5.
Boston's is better than that, y'all.
You think Boston's is better than?
Oh my God, yeah, Kyrie. You could put
Jaylen Brown can come off the bench.
You can put Jason Tatum
Tatum.
at the 3 or 2, Gordon Hayward at the 3 or 2. So, in all honesty, the deepest team is Boston.
I think total-wise they are.
The total-wise, yes, it's Boston.
1
But
through
best
15.
backcourt, I would probably
Top
say
five
there's
is
Who's y'all's 2 and 3 guards?
Do they start Marcus Smart still at the 2?
Some
There's
he's been in
matchups.
there.
Because I know, because we all know who the point guard is Kyrie, and this is what I thought was going to be the biggest problem with Boston going in this year is who the hell do you play? You got all this talent.
You got
You got
at least
all this
9
talent.
deep.
Oh, yeah.
On that team.
Easy.
Because you could put at any night
Up to 12, really.
Any night, Gordon Hayward he say, I'm feeling a little sore. Hey, dude, take the night off. That's fine. We got 2 other guys that are ready to play.
Mm-hmm.
So what is their technical starting 5?
I don't know, Terry. You're the Celtics fan.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When they switch in and out, and we got
is
so many
Kyrie-
people who can play different positions.
I don't think they're better than Toronto. 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
You don't think Kyrie's better than Lowry?
It's close. It ain't that much more. So I was about to pull up the stats.
Kyrie's
It's
way
very
better than
close. No,
Lowry.
he's not.
way better than him.
Okay, who's y'all's 2 guard? You talking Marcus Smart and Danny Green?
Jaylen Brown, probably, really. That's
Yeah,
who you'd
that's
like
who
to
I
And you're
start.
not taking whoever's against Kawhi.
I would
over
take
Kawhi.
no. I wouldn't take anybody over Kawhi, but I
And
would
you
take
could put
Jaylen
Hayward
Brown
in
over
at
Danny
number 3.
Green.
Or Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Because to me, Danny Green is, to be honest, he's probably one of the best spot-up shooters, catch and shoot. Just he'll
If
shoot
he
the ball,
gets
but I
his,
think
if he gets his feet set, it's going in.
Yeah, you're right. But I think Jaylen Brown overall is the better player because he's not afraid to slash.
Dan Green's a
can
good
get
defender,
and he
too.
can get,
Think
now,
about the defense
Green
on
does
those
have
two.
good defense, but
Danny
Jaylen
and
Brown can get his own shot.
Danny and Kawhi on defense is pretty exceptional. This year, Kyle Lowry, 17, 11, and 4.
It's not bad.
Kyrie, 17, 5, and 4.
So about the same rebounds, just
Same
Lowry's
points and
getting more
rebounds.
assists.
Lowry's getting twice as many assists. So it's not, if Terry, you think it's way out there, even if you could say Kyrie's better, Kyle Lowry's got better stats.
Yeah, I know, but I also look at it when you get to.
And he's not ball hogging out there and taking 7,000 dribbles to take a shot.
I'm also
Did you
looking
see
at
the
when
Did
you
you see
get
the
to
Klay
the
Thompson
playoffs,
number on that?
Yeah.
Lowry don't
dribbles.
show up. Kyrie gonna show up.
Clay had. Kyle Lowry didn't get to play with LeBron. You don't know that. Kyrie did. It's a little bit different. He's out there playing with DeMar DeRozan and who is who's there?
DeRosa's being superb.
Well, he's not LeBron.
Yeah, he really is. They say they're really surprised with how he's playing.
But Clay
I think he bought in, and a lot of that. Look at this. And I'm being 100% honest with you. If that doesn't speak to Popovich's coaching ability to be able to do what he's done with DeRozan to fit into this, now I don't know why it's taken so long and still there's tension between him and Aldridge, but I think it's just because Aldridge isn't a system guy. He wants to be the guy.
Well,
and
Marcus
you just
Aldridge
can't.
doesn't want to play center either.
Yeah,
even though
he
that's
wants to play power forward.
Yeah, he does.
He wants to play power forward. But I think that's just a testament to Popovich and how great of an NBA coach he is to get the same production out of DeRozan, if not more, outside of Toronto.
Terry Lowry, 51% shooting from the field, 41 from 3. Kyrie, 44 from the field, 35 from 3. Free throws are the same. So PER, Lowry, 23. Kyrie, 17. I got Kyrie as better.
There's no way.
You just say you got Kyrie is better.
I mean Kyle Lowry. It's kind of hard
Now,
to say
look,
Kyrie and Kyle Lowry.
I like Kyle Lowry. Don't get me wrong, but I think that we have to take kind of the intangible in there. I think Kyrie's got more of the clutch gene than Kyle Lowry.
He might be.
I think, I'll be honest, I think Kyle Lowry looks kind of like a hot dog.
By the way,
around out there, where
Charlotte
Kyrie's just electric.
Charlotte is in first place. Did y'all know that?
In their division.
Did you not know that?
Yeah.
That is god awful.
At
4 and 5.
At 4 and
real,
5.
Real quick before we go to break, a couple of points I want to make. The Klay Thompson, he had like 50-something dribbles or 50-something points on 50-something dribble. Or what?
Yeah, it was 50-something on 56 dribbles, and it's because
Derrick Rose had 350 dribbles.
and had 50.
Had the same number of
literally
points.
listened to
7
that this
times the number of dribbles. Also, Carson, as far as the Hornets being in first place, question I had, and a lot of people might have, what in the world is going on with Frank Kaminsky?
He's not playing.
I know.
Thank God.
They're not even playing him at all.
Thank God. I think that might have been the key last year. Clifford gave Frank too much run. I mean,
he's not even playing a minute. Neither is Biombo. That's a lot of money that is just sitting there on the bench.
Well,
right now.
that's
They're playing
a year.
Herman Gomez. guy.
Willie's good.
Willie
Billy Hernan Gomez. I mean, I'm not sure if he goes by Willie or
We'll
Billy.
just call
but-
him Willie.
Yeah,
Call
no,
him
that's
one-eyed Willie.
That's I'm
That's
not going
not
to call
what we're
him.
gonna call him.
Nope, never going to call a man that. But I mean, you've got. I think the system that Borrego runs is perfect for Kemba because it lets him be. I mean, he always was the source of the offense, but I think it is. That's what I'm saying. Wasn't is, but I think that gives him more freedom almost because I mean, let's be honest, Borrego is a lot more creative offensively than Steve Clifford. Steve Clifford is probably a little bit better of a defensive coach,
I think
but
Clifford's the worst offensive matchup coach that I've seen the Hornets have ever.
And
I'm not saying I don't like him. I like
everybody
Clifford,
likes
but
Clifford,
his offensive lineups were just horrid.
And the other thing that Borrego's done, I think he's. I mean, have you guys seen the numbers on the bench scoring? They're like second in the NBA in bench scoring. Every stat is up as far as bench scoring and bench offense. And that was really the big thing last year was when you had to put the bench unit in, you knew you were probably your deficit. If you had a deficit, it was probably going to grow by 5 or 10 points. But now you think, if nothing else, you're going to hold on. You might maybe chip into it a little bit, or you can actually build your lead when you put that second unit.
They're playing
out
ultimate small ball.
Yeah, they are.
You have to watch,
and it works
because they're 4 and 5. I know
it's
they're first
working.
place.
It's working.
So I don't think he's got that figured out yet.
Well, hold on. Let me read the minutes real quick before we go, Terry. I'll let you talk all you want. Bismack Biyombo and Frank hardly ever play. Looking at the minutes and everything right now, their top 6 scorers, guys: point guard, shooting guard, small forward, point guard, small forward.
Yeah.
You don't get to Cody at 7 before you get to anyone that's 6'10" or above.
wouldn't
Then
you
it's
say-
Miles Bridges, Willie Hook. So they're only using 2 big men at all. And Marvin Williams is playing awful
Yeah,
this
he
year.
is.
If they can find something, if they can get, that's why I'm like, how does Frank not even crack the lineup anytime if Marvin's been? Because Marvin's not even been average. He's been awful.
Marvin will at least try on defense, and he'll at least try to get
Maybe
rebounds.
even that, but is
Frank is a 7-footer and can barely average 4 rebounds a game. You got to put your hands up and you'll get 5.
I'll say this about Charlotte though, and I'll let you talk to it, absolutely. But I'll say this: they are so guard heavy. They are guard heavy.
And that's the thing is like, yeah, they're guard heavy, but their scoring is guard heavy. But don't you think their best players are their guards?
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's not even close.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's
all right. Terry, go ahead.
Yeah,
No,
Terry,
the only thing I was going to say is I just don't think he's ever got the Parker and Kimba thing down pat.
Not yet.
You know
Not
what
yet.
I'm saying? They're
But-
4 and 5, but I mean the other night when I'm watching them and they're playing Oklahoma, I'm like, those 2 guys need to be in the game, but we're running one while the other sets. Then the other come in, you take Parker out.
I like Terry real quick. I like what you just said, Terry. And one of the things I had written down before I come in here, and I was going to make Carson mad when I say this, I think the Charlotte Hornets should start Tony Parker at the point guard.
I agree. I agree. And Kimba at the shooting guard.
There you go.
Oh yeah, as long as
I wasn't going to say Kimba to the bench.
I mean, that's what I was watching.
But run the Iverson offense that they used to run. Kind of put Kimba in that spot.
I
and
agree
then
100%.
Because Tony Parker guys.
I just don't know if you want to give Tony Parker that many minutes.
Well,
especially early in the season.
Parker, I agree with that, but if you don't make the playoffs, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Parker is killing it on the assist right now. He's averaging almost double the amount that Kimba is in the same number of
He knows
in
he
the
can't
minutes.
score as much as he used to. So I mean, he got to just be an assist man.
What I'm saying is that he did, and you're right on that, is that he's getting more assists now than he ever did in San Antonio.
Right.
And I think that could help out the offense. We got to take a break. We haven't got to any NFL. Hey, we ain't got nowhere. Calvin's nowhere today, so we got no broadcast. We got bandies tonight. We got football coming up at 11, so we got a little overtime to get into today, real quick, guys. So we'll be right back. Very quick break in just a second.
Turkey Days, November 12th through November 22nd at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Dwight has gone turkey crazy. Buy a new Honda, get a free turkey. Buy a new Kia, get a free turkey. Buy a new GMC, get a free turkey. Buy a new Buick, get a free turkey. Buy a pre-owned vehicle and get a free turkey. All during Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through 22nd at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. And Happy Thanksgiving from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby.
Martin Truex Jr.
Including the racing action.
Kyle Larson has slipped up out of the racing groove and hammered the outside wall.
It's the AAA Texas 500.
Kyle Busch peeks to the inside of brother Kurt Busch, side by side. Trouble. We got Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Jimmy Johnson.
The AAA Texas 500. Sunday, November 4th at 2 p.m.
The AAA Texas 500 this Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock on WCSL 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the back. Set Campers in RV Saturday Sports Talk. Breakfast by Mitchum's Kitchen of Vale. I am the Incredible Man. Hold on, Hunter.
Let's calm down.
I got a bunch of buttons.
Let's calm
There we
down.
go. All right, NFL action time. The top. Let's see. We've got we got 2 first place fans in there, don't we? 2 first place fans. Terry, you're not. Terry, you're not in first place.
Terry, you're not.
Not a single football team you pull for is in first place.
That's cute, Terry, that you thought that.
Terry, every team you pull for is in third. In fact, right? West Lincoln, NC
Terry, what's
State,
it like to
and
lose?
Dallas are all in third.
What's it like to lose in football?
Hunter, if you don't know,
Can't relate.
Carson, if you don't know, Hunter Huss is, what are they, 11
11-0.
and the Rams are now 8-0, right?
Yeah, boy.
So 19-0.
Yeah, lucky.
Carson's football
Yeah,
teams this year are 19.
Or Terry,
They're just good.
That's true. Things happen your
How about
way.
Todd Gurley not getting the over? I swear to... No, I'm just kidding.
I don't care.
I've got each
said,
week
"I
on the
don't care
WhatsApp
about
Shopper,
fantasy."
WhatsAppShopper.com, I pick the games and also do our Power Poll. We eliminate a team every week from Super Bowl contention. The Power Poll is not ranked on who the best teams are. It's ranked on who's got the best chance to win the Super Bowl. So if you're not in the playoffs, you can't win the Super Bowl. So that's fact number one. So this week, so far we've got rid of Buffalo, Oakland, Arizona, San Francisco, Indianapolis, Giants, Jets, and Broncos. This week, I said goodbye to the Cleveland Browns. Hugh Jackson era is finally over. They played 4 overtime games so far this season. The NFL record is 6 in a season. So they're in the neighborhood for that. Rumors abound that Urban Meyer is going to Green Bay, Bob Stoops to Ohio State, and Mike McCarthy to the Cleveland Browns.
Thank you, Big Cat.
Baker Mayfield is 31st in completion percentage, 31st in yards per attempt, 24th in touchdowns, 29th in rating, 23rd in yards per attempt. And Hugh Jackson, after winning 3 games in over 2 years, had the audacity, and we talked about it a little bit last night. So what he did and what broke the back, the last 2 years he's went to the owner above the GM's head and said that he wanted control of the play calling. Well, this year, guess what he did again?
Mm-hmm.
This year, though, he's got a new GM and a new offensive coordinator that don't take junk like that. It all blew up in Cleveland, apparently, and the GM said, I'll just get rid of you both. Now, apparently there had to be so much fire in there that for you to get rid of both, because usually I don't think you should get rid of the offensive coordinator, because you got 8 more games left. He's been calling plays. Let him call the plays, then get rid of them. Baker can get his new people in and all that stuff. This is what it's all about, Baker Mayfield. But it had to be such a petty little fight, and then Hugh Jackson going over the GM's head after the GM. You got to think about what Dorsey did. Dorsey come in. Most GMs fire whoever the coach is when they come in anyway, right? He allowed you the chance to prove himself. Say, hey, I'm giving you some good players. I'm giving you the number 1 pick. Here's your chance. And then halfway through the season, you wins 2 games and goes above that guy's head who gave him the chance to try to get the offense back. And that ended that. So comments, questions in there on Cleveland, guys, real quick before we move on down the list.
I was done with Cleveland when the season started. So, I mean, Baker Mayfield, they stood out here and they went and got Baker Mayfield thinking he's another Johnny Manziel. He's not going to be in the league after 5 years. I mean, he could be a backup somewhere, but he's not going to be in the league as a starter. Now, what's Cleveland got to do? Okay, here we go again. When we go to pick this coming year, we're going to look for another quarterback to go to Cleveland because this is not your guy again.
They're not picking enough.
They're not.
Wait and see.
They're not picking
another quarterback.
They're not picking another quarterback.
Wait and see.
When they finally,
surprised
they would not have taken Baker Mayfield at 1 if they were planning.
I'm
on
sorry,
taking
Browns
another
fans, for letting
quarterback.
Terry make a comment on that. Let me get down here. Speaking of,
you went and got Johnny Manziel.
All right.
He lasts for a long time.
Terry, all right, if you have that position about Baker, tell me who the Cowboys are going to pick at quarterback in the draft this year then. Because he's worse than the Browns quarterback, and he was picked in the 4th round, and they have nothing invested in him. So who the Cowboys going to pick? If you think they're going to give up on the number 1 pick,
Terry, I want you to just take this like in all seriousness. If Dak Prescott because Jerry Jones said that getting Amari Cooper is not going to sway how he thinks about Dak Prescott. You know it will. If he can't get the offense to run a whole lot harder while having a playmaker actually on the outside. So if Dak Prescott and this offense doesn't get better in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I would not hold it against Dallas to draft a quarterback. So in all seriousness, who do you think you're going to draft?
It's not the point in Dallas now. I mean, all of a sudden you got Dak Prescott trying to throw to guys that, I mean, there's no Witten, there's no Bryant. I mean, the only person you're looking for is Beasley. They finally stepped up and went and got Cooper, who I think is going to help the team, but they still need a few more weapons on offense. You got Elliott. Yeah, that's a fantastic thing, but he has got to have somebody to throw to. And when he first come there, he had a lot of people, and he wasn't worried about Dez as being number 1. He was throwing to everybody else around him, and his completion, everything, interceptions was low. Last year when they got him in there, he tried to throw to Dez because Dez kept whining, give me the ball, give me the ball. And what happened? Interceptions went up. Everything, because he was trying to throw in places he could not do.
Do you think and I'm gonna just compare this to why I think Joe Flacco is playing so good this year, because they drafted Lamar and he kind of got scared for his job. Do you think Dallas could do that? I'm not saying with an early pick. I'm saying maybe a 4th or 5th rounder.
Why are we so scared of offending this 4th round pick?
I'm not saying offending him.
I know that, but my position on that, not on you, Hunter, but what my position is, we have no problem throwing Eli Manning to the garbage and throwing Romo to the garbage and bringing in these new guys. But then we want to defend them to the death when after 2 and 3 years they're not playing good. Terry's ready to get rid of Baker after 5 games, so he's on the opposite end of that.
Dak's way better than Baker.
It's not Terry.
That's not even fun.
It's not. You're right. Baker Mayfield was a Heisman finalist how many times? 3. Finalist, not winner.
Oh.
It was more than once. It was definitely more than once. Dak was never a Heisman finalist.
Who won it the year before Baker won it? Because then that was the only time I said that he was even in the running.
I'm not sure.
I really only think he was in the running 1 year.
But my thing is that we're so quick to throw these quarterbacks. A lot of they're hating on Eli and stuff. Look at Eli's numbers. He's top 10 this year in almost every category. Like Eli's. His line is matadors after. We have to look at the overall concept of these teams.
I've never put him down. I've always thought Eli, I mean, he has no line, and I'm with you. I'm 100%. There's nothing he can do back there. But as far as them other guys, I mean, come on, man. Mayfield, that was a bad pick from the start. Cleveland, you messed up again. You're doing it every year. You're just Cleveland Browns.
So you think that it's Mayfield's fault they're 2-5-1?
The some guy can't even complete 50% of his passes.
Yeah, he is like 58. Terry.
Okay, well, I mean, but some games, like 1 week, he's like 22 out of 46. That's not an NFL quarterback.
I mean, I could see some of that. Now,
tell Phillip Rivers that he loves
Terry Ryan Finley to the Cowboys.
No, we're
whoa.
No.
Oh,
no.
You don't even want him for the competition?
No.
So
I'm just saying, I feel like a competition would. I'm not, and that's why I said take one late. It wouldn't hurt Dak to have some competition. Who is the backup quarterback right now in Dallas?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Kellen Moore, is
No,
he still there?
He's their quarterback coach.
So Dak is 26th in completion percentage. Aaron Rodgers is 27th in completion percentage. Flacco 28th. Bortles 30th. Mayfield 31st, and Sam Darnold 32nd. Now, Terry wants to talk about the rookie quarterbacks. Well, Josh Allen's 34th, Sam Darnold 33rd. Sorry,
Josh Allen
Rosen
is hurt.
30. The bottom 4 quarterbacks in completion percentage are all rookies. So there's a slight rookie curve, I would say, on that. Bortles is the next, and Beathard, Flacco. Aaron Rodgers is 27th right now in completion percentage.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is that good.
I kind of agree with you on that too.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is that good. And people can hate. I tell my friends this all the time. I am not sold on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has won 1 Super Bowl. Okay, whoop-de-doo. I don't want to name him the greatest of all time while Tom Brady's sitting there with 5, possibly on chance for 6 again this year. Aaron Rodgers, after that Super Bowl, his ego has gotten so big he can't get much further than
I'm going to put it to you like this.
game.
Carson sitting there watching the game last week, and when Montgomery fumbled the ball, he was like, thank goodness, because Aaron does not get on. Because all Aaron had to do was get him in field goal range.
Any quarterback, if it's competent enough, can get a team in field goal range. Then it comes down to the kicker. I'm just saying, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is that good. When he throws the football, I'm not as impressed as some of these people that say it's the beautifulest thing they've ever seen.
Chairs over.
I don't like him neither.
I agree with Hunter on that because.
But he beat Dallas quite a few times.
Cerebrally, well, I don't think he's smart. I don't think he's cerebrally smarter than Brady.
Hunter's in Rodgers has been in the league how many years? 10 years almost?
Yeah. And he's 35 right now.
Since Rodgers has been in the league, Eli has 2 championships. Flacco has a championship. Russell Wilson has a championship. Peyton got, what, did he get 2 while Aaron Rodgers was in? Just one. Just
definitely.
One. He got one, maybe one Rodgers. Tom Brady's had, 3 2 or 3 while Rodgers has been in the league. How about Drew Brees has the same one he does, and then all the better passing stats than all he does.
Yeah.
So the Rodgers in the all-time thing is just a joke to me.
And Drew Brees might even make it back this year.
If Brees wins the second one, you better start putting him in the up there. All right, let me go down my list, guys, and we're going to talk about the Panthers game, a little bit of Redskins and Cowboys. I got 20. The Bucs right now, I got a 23 because of their defense, guys. It's the worst in the league. However, the quarterbacking. They went from Jameis has played 3 games and leads the NFL in interceptions. Fitzmagic in 3 games.
Slick with that butter from them crabs.
Fitzmagic, for example, in 84 less pass attempts, has only 90 less yards than Cam does this year. He's got the same number of touchdowns as Cam, 13. Interceptions are 5 and 4. Fitzmagic is averaging 10.8 yards per attempt. That's best in the NFL. 119 rating and 80.4. But the Bucs, and here's what I was talking about, and what I was trying to, Terry should know better about blaming the quarterback for wins and losses all the time. Fitzmagic's offense is just killing it, but the defense is giving up 33 points a game. The Panthers, on the other hand, Cam Newton's defense is 11th, giving up 22. What would the Panthers' record be if their defense was giving up 33 points a game?
Same as the Bucs.
Would they be 5-2 if they were giving up 33 a game? Looking at some other notes across, here's some other Panthers and other notes for this weekend to think about. Panthers defense. What's up, Tim? Panthers defense. This is since Cam came in the league. We're going to relate wins and defense. People want to talk about this. I want to talk about how if Cam leads the team or not. I say it's the defense. Terry, let's see if you agree. 2011, Cam's first year, the 27th in defense, had six wins. 2012, they were 18th in defense, 7 wins. 2013, the number 2 defense, Terry, they had 12 wins. The next year, 21st in defense, 5 wins. The next year, 6th in defense, another top 10 defense. What'd they do? 15 wins. The next year, 26th in defense, 6 wins. The next year, 9th in defense, 11 wins. So every single season that the defense for Carolina has been top 10, they have 10 or more wins. Every season the defense is not top 10, they have less than 10 wins. So you've got average to mediocre quarterback play, and why do I say that? Cam Newton, in the career of quarterbacks, NFL all-time average in an NFL game is 24 points a game. Cam averages 23 points a game, so he's averaging scoring on an all-time basis. He's 49th all-time in scoring average per game. I try to bring some of this stuff up a lot of time on this. It's how do you measure a quarterback? Is it the completion percentage? Is it the ratings? Is it the touchdowns? I come up with found a fun stat the other day, guys, and I really like this one. It was the one about scoring average per quarterback all time. And you've got 16 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL who've averaged more than the 24 points a game, so 25 game. And Carson's going to like the list because there's about 3 or 4 Rams on it. Carson, did you notice that when I sent the list out?
I might have.
16 quarterbacks. Here are the 16 quarterbacks in NFL history, the only 16 who've averaged 25 or more points a game. Carson say Ram every time I say Ram. All
right.
So 16 quarterbacks have averaged 25 a game. Everyone else in history has been below 25. For you Cam fans, here's the league you're in. 31 is Kaepernick at 23.5. 39 is Randall Cunningham, 23.1. 40 is RG3, 23. McNabb, 22.9 at 42. And then Cam, 49th all-time, 22.8 points per game. Michael Vick, 22.3 points per game right behind him. All right, top 16. Here we go. Quarterbacks who average 25 points a game. Trent Green.
Ram.
25.1. He's number 16. Tied at 14, Terry. Our boy, Danny White. Danny White, 25.2 a game. He's tied of George Blanda for that. For you folks that, if you don't know who Danny White is, he's pretty much the number 13, but a little bit worse. Number 13 is Tony Romo. So he didn't have a defense. Went back. Tim Johnson's sitting here. Went back and looked at Danny White's defenses. Tim, all their defenses were terrible, and everyone blames Danny for not making the Super Bowl. He was a good passing good quarterback. He was also a kicker too, wasn't he, Terry? Punter.
Yes.
Number 12, Phillip Rivers. Terry, you're an NC State man. 25.6
I love
points
Phillip
a
Rivers.
game.
I do.
Number 11, Steve Young. 25 points a game after sitting the first 7 years of his career. So let's think about that one. Number 10, this will be a surprise. Gastonia Grizzly, Russell Wilson, is number 10th all-time NFL points per game. Now remember, doesn't he get blamed for them losing by the defensive guys? through the last few years. Every time they lose.
Are any of them left at this point?
And they're all cut.
Yeah.
They're all cut. So this guy's average is 10th all time, 25.8 points a game, and the defense gets mad at him. Terry, I got another Cowboy for you and Tim here. Here's the third Cowboy in it. Dandy Don Meredith. The 3 highest scoring Cowboy quarterbacks in NFL history have a combined 0 Super Bowls. Terry, what wins championships? Defense.
Running game.
And defense, yeah. Tony Dorsett and Emmitt Smith had a lot to do with that, too.
Let's be real here.
Number 8, tied with Dandy Don, is Daryl LaMonica. It's just one of the fun names to say. I like saying LaMonica. I don't know why. All right, number 5, we've got 2 Rams tied and a Drew Brees. So we've got 3 people tied for 5th all time, 26.7 points a game. So we got Breezy, we got Kurt Warner, and we got Norm Van Brocklin.
Oh yeah, boy. Yeah, that's a Cleveland Ram just about.
Hunter's got. I mean, god dang it. Carson has what? 3 Rams, 3 Cowboys on this list. Otto Graham, Cleveland Brown, is number 4 all time, 26.8 points a game, guys. And the top of this list is going to make Hunter mad though. Peyton is 3rd, 26.9.
I love Peyton.
Tom Brady is 2nd, 27.9.
I respect Tom Brady. Hate the Patriots.
Aaron Rodgers is number 1. 28.5 points a game.
It's
Aaron Rodgers.
It's almost like he's a good quarterback or something.
Aaron Rodgers. He's a good quarterback, but he is not on this upper tier echelon of the GOATs.
Hunter, we was trying to tell you, man. We've been trying to tell you.
Look, okay, all right, Aaron Rodgers, if you can win another Super Bowl for yourself before you hit 40, then talk to me. Until then, go ahead and run Mike McCarthy out like you did everybody else. So, hey, let that ego keep going to your head, and we'll see you never in a Super Bowl.
All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. My top 4, the contenders so far: Patriots, Rams, Chiefs, and Saints. Outside looking in, right on the edge, they could make an AFC-NFC championship game. I've got Chargers, Texans, Redskins, and then a tie if crazy things happened, Seattle and Carolina. But I don't think that's going to happen. Seattle's if Carolina's got to beat the Saints in week 15 and 17, and then maybe have to turn around and beat them in the playoffs too. So it's going to be tough for that. Panthers might have to go on the road, and it's going to be tough to go on the road in the NFC, I think. AFC, you might pull it off. I don't think you're going on the road in the NFC and going through maybe. So, all right, guys. We got Bandy's in North Lincoln. Tim Johnson, come here. Bandy's in North Lincoln tonight. Hunter's here. Tim's here. Ken Link will be here tonight. You driving the Cadillac? Is that why you're here? Yes. Tim's going to have the pink Cadillac out there tonight up at North Lincoln.
Yeah.
T-shirts tonight, too.
Take 12 T-shirts, throw them out halftime.
All right, Tim's going to have some T-shirts for some of the fans. And
Tim's throwing them out. Yeah.
We're going to make Hunter do Alex Smith dink and dunk passes to the
check down,
fans.
check down.
All right, guys, we got to go. Tonight, Bandy's in North Lincoln, and then Monday night, Calvin, and then I'm going to take care of you. Bessemer and Cherryville and Crest and Kings Mountain and East Lincoln versus New Conover. We'll be back next week on KTC Broadcasting. Campers Inn, Saturday Sports Talk, breakfast by Mitchum's Kitchen. We'll see you next week on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Everything's bigger in Texas,
Trouble along the front stretch. Martin Truex Jr.
including the racing action.
Kyle Larson has slipped up out of the racing groove and hammered the outside wall.
It's the AAA Texas 500.
Kyle Busch peeks to the inside of brother Kurt Busch, side by side. Trouble. We got Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Jimmy Johnson.
The AAA Texas 500. Sunday, November 4th at 2 p.m.
The AAA Texas 500 this Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock on WCSL 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com. It's Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through November 22nd at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Dwight has gone turkey crazy. Buy a new Honda, get a free turkey. Buy a new Kia, get a free turkey. Buy a new GMC, get a free turkey. Buy a new Buick, get a free turkey. Buy a pre-owned vehicle and get a free turkey. All during Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through 22nd at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard.